Good evening, everyone. I am Chris, joined once again with Everything in Middle-earth. And we made it. We've made it, finally. We're at the end of Season 2. Season 2, Episode 8, and the season finale, Shadow and Flame. Here's to everyone that's made it through it. It's going to be one of those kind of streams, I'm afraid. I didn't think we were going to make it through. We did. It was very touch and go for me on the last episode. I'm not going to lie. It felt like that last hurrah, that last push. It's just, just one more. This was a tough one to get through. I felt like with this season, as every episode went by, apart from that one that was like the little blip, which was still bad, but like comparatively better than the rest, every other episode we were like, oh, this is a new low for the show. And then the next episode would roll around. And it's like, oh, actually, no, this one was worse. I'm in agreement with you because you actually watched this ahead of me and you prepped me and you said, like, this might be the worst one yet. I'm inclined to agree. There are certain things that happen in this episode that are so damning, that are so awful, that I almost couldn't comprehend what I was watching in the moment. I had to pause this episode multiple times just to allow my sanity to just calm down. This was almost like an agonizing experience to get through for me. How about you? How was your viewing experience of episode 8, Shadow and Flame?
It was painful. It fucks with everything. It's not just bad on a lore standard. This cinematography, Jesus, it's awful. The acting's awful. Celebrimbor, we'll get onto him, but you're meant to be so saddened by what happens to him. But I've got a photo for that later on, by the way, what he looks like. It's just, I was so angry and I felt so defeated. I didn't want to watch anymore. It was a slog, to be honest with you. And it's not just because they really shit on Tolkien in this episode. Well, in this series, apparently, if you didn't know, Amazon have a was it a Tolkien lore expert, by the way, on set. Fucking sack him. Get him gone.
Oh, remember they had was it Tom Shippey for season 1, and he jumped ship. We saw the writing on the wall right then and there, didn't we? So I don't know who the fuck this Tolkien expert is. The yes man Tolkien expert, probably the same Tolkien expert that they've got on board for War of the Rohirrim, judging by that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, wow, we got that to look forward to, haven't we, this year? But it was really, really bad, and I don't know how they're going to do a season 3. I really don't. The stuff was just nonsensical. Stories just awful. And you know what felt weird as well? Like, with the Rings of Power, it felt so rushed, but yet so slow. Like, I don't know how it does it. Like, no scenes have proper meat in them. A lot of the scenes, they cut off the conversations before, at the juiciest bits when they're about to tell you the most important information and they just cut back to it. They do that a lot in this episode, and I hated it. Awful.
I'm in total agreement with you. And I was going to bring up that point, so I'm glad you mentioned it there about the fact that it's this weird paradox with this show. And season 1 was kind of guilty of this as well, but this one feels more so in that it feels like they're trying to throw so much in. It's like, we want our cake and eat it too. We want the Balrog in there. We've got to get the Balrog in there quick, even though that's not meant to happen for like another 1,000 years. And then we make it happen and we blow our load in the intro. And then it's just like, shit, we've written ourselves into a corner now because we kind of need Khazad-dum to still be a thing for a while. And then it just fucking disappears and we never even mention it ever again. That they're trying to pack so much stuff in. And we've got the Numenor stuff and the rings for elves and the rings for dwarves and the rings for men. Just get it all in there. Battle for Eregion. But then when you actually look at the real substance of it and you look at certain storylines, it feels like things have just like nudged like a little blip. Like the whole Gandalf storyline with the stores. What the fuck was even that? What was the point of that? Setting up for like a mystery, like basically 2 seasons of a mystery regarding his name and his identity for it to just be Gandalf when we knew that from when he crash landed he fucking crash landed in a comet. I still can't get over that from season 1. bigging up mysteries that are just completely pointless. So yeah, it is this weird in between where, as you said, it feels fast and slow. It actually reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the outtake from the Hobbit movies where it's Sylvester McCoy, Radagast, and Ian McKellen, Gandalf, and they're in front of a green screen. Of course they are. It's the Hobbit trilogy. They're in front of a green screen. And Gandalf's like rushing off somewhere and he goes, "No, there's no time, so fast and so slow," and he like forgets his lines, and it's great. But yeah, so fast and so slow. That sums up this show in one sentence for me.
I mean, like you say, what was Isildur's
Oh God,
plot for this season?
Theo, fucking
wow.
Estrid. What? Who the fuck is she? Elendil's daughter. My God, there are so many characters that are just pointless. Even Miriel, this series.
What's she done?
She wasn't queen, then she was the chosen one by the sea monster, and then the sword, fucking nasty.
Oh, don't, man, don't.
We've only just begun. This is going to be like the juiciest, like most rageful episode ever. I feel.
Would you say, right? Here's one for you to start it off. Have you got a positive?
Oh fuck no! I forgot about that. I was so mired in negative. You know, if I watch this back, I'd probably go back on this, but some of the visual effect shots of the Balrog, whilst paling in comparison to the 01 movie, just think about that for a second. We've had over 20 years since that original movie, and the special effects are still way better, in my opinion anyway, way fucking better in Peter Jackson's movies on the Balrog than we are so many years later. And this has way more of the budget. But there was a couple of shots where it kind of breaks out and it like slams the sword down. I was watching it and thinking, you know what? Some visual effects artist probably worked really hard on this shot. There you go. And then it leads to a really, really dumb slow-mo scene, which we'll talk about. I think it was Bath Time dropped a comment earlier saying it reminded him, we'll talk about the Durin scene in a minute, but regarding that scene, it reminded him of, is it The Other Guys, Aim for the Bushes? Like the slow motion. There goes my hero. Like, it's bad. It's fucking bad.
I mean,
go on. Sorry.
There's I haven't read the review that you put for it yet, but I found one on IMDb.
Oh, go on.
That said, "Don't be a nerd. This show is amazing. It looks amazing. The acting is amazing. The practical effects and makeup are stellar. The Hobbit trilogy was trash compared to this. Everyone I've seen complaining about this is being a nerd. Don't be a nerd. Be grateful for Tolkien come to life on the screen." Ooh. Yeah, be grateful for this. Season 1 is a huge build-up, and so far, Season 2 has been firing on all cylinders. I couldn't be happier with the show.
And a review from someone who's not mentally retarded.
Oh, fucking!
How dare they speak Tolkien's name? How dare they say his name? Fuck them. Well, I haven't actually read this. Oh god, I forgot the name. IGN. So you know it's going to be fucking great. They've given the finale episode an 8 out of 10. Just let that sink in for a second. 8 out of 10. And this is the first time I'm reading this too. The season 2 finale brings strong resolution to the main plots with multiple dramatic deaths and battles. Unfortunately, it also continues to show the problems that plagued the season as a whole, with storylines that barely went anywhere, and if they did go somewhere, took too long to get there. 8 out of 10. So that seems quite a scathing review towards the end of that, because I agree with the last part of that review. But still, 8 out of 10. It's good enough for IGN, I suppose. I don't know whose dick they're sucking in Amazon, but they've got their fingers in certain pies by the sounds of it.
I mean, you think of what other films they've given an 8 out of 10. It's like you look
they're all over the shop.
Yeah, absolute madness, to be honest with you, mate. And you know, I'm looking on. Was it Game Rant? They're loving it. Their the title of their article was "The Rings of Power finale exceeds expectations with intense action and stunning revelations."
What, Gandalf? Grandelf. Let's get it right.
remember, everyone's calling him fucking Grandalf now, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, okay. So, like, what if everyone just started calling him Dickhead? Would they be like, Dickhead? Oh, dead? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I did not enjoy one single thing about this episode. I've not got anything good to say.
You better think of a positive by the end of it. You better.
It ended. There you go. There's me positive. And there might not be a season 3.
I don't know.
Hope is kindled.
Yeah. Boy. Let's get some of the comments. I want to hear what some other people are saying. So we have Anon who says, doing a longer one today to summarize the entire story so far. That's going to be next week. This isn't the end. The journey doesn't end here. No, we're going to do next week. Either Friday or Saturday. We'll have a chat after the stream's done. But we did this for season 1. We reviewed all the episodes individually. And then we were still plagued with the horrors from season 1. And we just had to get it all out there, unpack it. And we're going to do a whole season 2 wrap-up review overall next week. So we're still going to be around. Dirty Sanchez says this will be painful. Well, hopefully not from us. This is where you get to kick back and get it all out there, air all that dirty laundry. And Anon says Waldrig crying face. Yeah, we will remember. I pledge my loyalty to Sauron. Yeah.
Unironically, right, the only reason that I was actually excited for this season was for Waldrig. And I was really gutted when they got rid of him because I was like, damn, I've literally lost my only investment in the show. But rest in peace. And he still hasn't got back in touch. I'm praying that it's a Amazon clause.
Keep going. Keep trying.
just stalk him. But yeah, I will keep you updated if he ever gets back.
Nice. Well, that's my incentive now. Waldrig was my incentive for season 2, which was quickly dashed after episode 1. This is my incentive now for them to keep making season 3, season 4, season 5, because it gives us an excuse to keep trying to get Waldrig on the show. As long as it keeps going. Well, where was the Elvish Ring of Power then? Like, shame we couldn't have used it to resurrect Waldrig in the first episode.
Fucking hell, man. What's it? You get injured, you can fall off a fucking cliff. There you go. Heals from that. Fuck madness. Absolute madness.
Headcanon kicks in, as we keep saying, we didn't see a body. So
yeah, the wargs, the one.
Continue. Yeah. Spin-off series, Disney Plus series, why not? Anon says, you two need to go on Friday Night Tights. Unironically, I'd fucking love that. Let the channel grow a little bit first, hopefully one day, like a couple of decades, maybe, we'll see. Dirty Sanchez says, they pack 1,000 years of lore in 8 episodes, and you're flirting with the plus 10-second button watching this shit. God, make that the plus hour and 13 minutes button for me. Jesus wept. This was, whenever I click the episode and it comes up with a little time bar at the bottom, I always check how long the episode is. And I think I text you, didn't I? I was like, oh, fuck, this is an hour and 13 minutes. I actually can't. Yeah, it's tough. It's real tough. Honestly, like, before I even hit play, I do like a sharp inhale, like, and then hit play every time, but especially for this finale, just going like, one left. I was the same with Star Wars Acolyte every week. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I enjoy this show. This keeps me going, but at the time when you watch it, it's tough.
It's literally like every week for me was like, right, what are they gonna fuck up? Right, what are they gonna mess up? And then it's like, oh, they've done this. Oh, everything. They've done that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We got Tara Lenian in the comments, says hello, and says the Lore Master is an assistant script writer named Griff Jones.
Sack him. You shit, Griff Jones.
That sounds like a very Welsh name. Can we send him back to Wales? Even if he's not from Wales, let's send him there. Why not?
Right, Tara Lenian, you're hired, mate.
Yeah,
get on board, mate, because they need you. Fucking Chris Griffin, whatever the fuck his name is. Fuck him off. Shower of shite.
It's Griff Rhys-Jones, isn't it? Anon says, why does King Durin attack the Balrog? That's
fuck knows.
That's a very good question. He was trying to go for the XP. It was like a Dark Souls boss, and he fucked up.
Somehow he's trying to save fucking Durin, apparently. Fucking idiot.
Oh, God. All the armor and backgrounds look like a Gus Honeybun plastic bag.
It does.
What's going on with that dwarven fucking armor, man? When Na'vi shows up at the end, I've got a note on that. I know we're kind of like, this is still the intro. This is we're letting it simmer. We're letting it simmer, and when it reaches critical mass, then we go for it. Do It Sanchez says, gotta earn that Amazon gift bag with an 8 out of 10. Speaking of which, I'm calling him out. Fuck it, I don't care. What have I got to lose? Nerd of the Rings. He did a chart. Was it Charlie Vickers? Is that his name? Anatar Sauron. Yeah, he's gone like full on shill mode. But I will say, I stand with Men of the West because he hasn't been afraid to call out this show. I feel like he towed the line a little bit at the beginning. I feel like he was trying to appease both sides. He was offering, a fair few positives, but still offering his opinion. As of last week, as of the incest kiss, he's like, this show's a piece of shit, and I'm not afraid to say it. And I'm like, that's really refreshing. I'm glad there's still someone with that many subscribers in the fan base that, will actually speak their mind and call the shit out for what it is. Anon says, how did he
lore channel and fucking love this?
No, I know exactly.
I
unsubscribe.
Yeah,
and I like
a pretty penny.
Yeah, no, 100%. I liked his stuff. I still do like his stuff that he puts out. He does a lot of unboxings. He gets a lot of deals like that. His history videos and his character lore, where it's very visual. It'll be like maps and the character moving across the map. It's all very well done, but integrity and credibility means a lot to me. And as of season 1, this wasn't even like a petty thing of, oh, he has a different opinion to me, I'm going to unsubscribe. It was that, you can't be a lore channel. You can't and have that love for the source material and love of Tolkien and sing this show's praises. Like, the two just don't go hand in hand, in my opinion. And it was very clear what he was trying to do. And a lot of other channels were doing it as well. The Prancing Pony podcast was a channel that I used to watch. They did exactly the same thing. A lot of them did. A lot of them fell victim to the whole Amazon buying them off kind of thing. Anon says, how did he get to the name Gandalf? Just because it's similar to Grandalf? Yeah, I know. Why not Grand Elf instead of Gandalf? It's a Hodor, hold the door level hilarity. Yeah,
it's not true though.
Yeah,
they are calling him that. So why the fuck's he got Gandalf from that?
Yeah, and then Anon says, why do the DEI midgets call the stranger Grand Elf? He doesn't look like an elf. Yeah, I know.
What was it? Because they've never seen an elf. That was her excuse, wasn't it?
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Sure.
You got all these fucking maps and all that with fucking songs that tell you where to go, but you've not got a map that's got a drawing of like a fucking elf. You're not seeing an elf.
Okay. Absolutely ridiculous. And Tarlin says, Nerd of the Rings has been more critical, just not to the extent of Men of the West. Yeah, because he's trying to keep everyone sweet, isn't he? Right. I think that'll do it for the intro. Should we go through this thing scene by scene? I've got my notes ready. Let's do this one final time. Okay. Until season 3. Oh, God. Right. No. Prince Durin. We immediately open in Khazad-dum, and he's checking on... Oh, no! That's fucking amazing. Don't adjust my seat.
How'd you go?
Oh, God. Okay,
there's many more to come.
We're opening strong with that one. Yeah. Got it very accurate. Yeah, 100%. Oh, that's really fucked me up. Hang on. Okay, Prince Durin is checking on the survivors of his father's attack. Because all this happened off screen last episode. Na'vi rushed in, like a massive gash on his forehead, and he says, like, oh, your father turned his axe to my men, and he was covered in blood and everything. We didn't see any of that happen, by the way, but they go there and they're inspecting the survivors. One thing I love, which is actually kind of accurate to this picture that we see right here that you've got. Disa and Prince Durin kiss, And I love how this is edited, because I think the music swells and it's like a really awkward kiss, and it just cuts to Na'vi and he just looks away like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't think it was meant to be that. I think he was just like looking down because of his wounds, but it looked like he was repulsed by what he saw. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've just got the shot up. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But oh man, I love during this scene how he's like going, right, you know, I'll cut that ring off his finger, you know, I'll cut his finger off to get the ring. He's all angry, and he says to Disa, no matter what you hear down there, don't follow. And she fucking follows anyway, so it's all pointless. Like, what's the point? And he's a coward.
Yeah. Anon says as well, as I said, no sign of their kids anywhere. I wonder why. Yeah. Balrog fucking attacks. Not even one mention like, Disa, get the kids. Like, nothing. I knew there wouldn't be. They just the showrunners forget that they had children.
Oh, they forget about the Balrog later on.
Totally.
They don't even mention it.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like we've built up to this with about 1,000 years premature of this. But they wanted their Balrog, they got their Balrog, and then it's just like, oh, what, did you run out of budget? You know, did you write yourself into a corner? Well, yeah, because Khazad-dum needs to be operating for at least another 1,000 years. And yeah, it's just... Everyone's so chill that they just witnessed a fucking Balrog erupt out of the earth, this demon from the ancient world. And it was in the chasm right there. It was so close to everything. Disa even heard it from, you know, down a couple of stairs or whatever she went down. And everyone's so chill with still being there. Like, is it still rampaging through the mountain? It's fucked. It's totally fucked. And even at this... Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I just love this scene. Like, you know, not once have they used this machine to dig. Like, why aren't you using pickaxes? It's just King Durin just whacking this rock, and it's like, it's so clunky. Like, cinematography, look at that for a shot. Wow. It looks like a pensioner going around the shop with your shopping trolley. Like, what's he doing? And yeah, you know, you see all this damage what he's done, and somehow he breaks through with this. And then you get the reveal, don't you, actually? Or no, little Durin arrives at this point, and he's like saying, Dad, you know, stop this madness, you know, remember when we used to arm wrestle? Like, okay, is that your fondest memory? Like, great. And then, you know, he's saying, oh, you used to let me go to a certain point, and then you made me lose and all that, and I love you, Dad. Bearing in mind, a second ago he's like, I'll cut off your finger in a second, but then he gives in, and then his dad's like, yeah, well, a dwarf would never give up. And then he just
yeah, I know, breaks
through, and then you get the fucking amazement of the Mithril, the lightning. Remember that Mithril's formed by fucking lightning, and it's a gold mine down there. And then all of a sudden, Durin he's okay. He's forgiven his father, forgotten about the ring, and he's all happy. And then, oh God,
it did make it's another waffly kind of anecdote, isn't it, about the whole arm wrestling thing? And he's just prattling on, and the actor's trying, you can tell, but it's just that the lines are so fucking bad. And I was like, where are we going with this arm wrestling story? But I did love that. He just comes in with his axe brandished, and his father's like, you ain't going to use that. And he's like, you're right. And he just like drops it straight away. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. What was even the point of that? Could you just bring up the clip of old King Durin with his little walker? Right, just bring that up again real quick.
Let me put that up a sec. Right, let me put that.
I just thought of something that might be funny as a meme. Watching that scene again. So that I just think, but nothing can breach it. Nothing will breach it.
Look at him, man.
Just replace with Grons. Just
this is meant to be someone who a couple of scenes ago was meant to be so fierce. Yeah, you know, he's battled all these other dwarves, you know, and we've seen him use a pickaxe earlier on, and it would look more menacing, wouldn't it, if him trying to smash through the rocks? But no, you've got this shot. It looks like an old couple trying to fuck. Like, he's like, go on, decent. It's like, what the fuck, man? And Grandad. Yes. You know, you've got the ring, and you know, will it have any powers? You see that it's corrupting and that. Why ain't he fucking using his strength to fucking plow through it? But you know, they needed that delay, so you had that scene with Durin, and you know that scene should have happened ages ago, not at this point. And at the end, what does it really achieve? To be honest with you,
yeah, I totally agree. Well, we've got someone in the comments right now who says that season 2 has been so much better than the entirely invented season 1. Are you sure that all of this hasn't been entirely invented as well? It's very much the same, but hey, if you get your kicks from watching this is great. And then saying, Tolkien fans, quote, old people trying to fuck, what are you? Hey, if you don't like what you see here, you have the ability to leave. If you want to stick around, thank you. And thank you for the continued viewership. It's adding to the statistics, so thank you. But yeah,
we'll have less of that.
We've only just begun, so if you're not liking this, then you know you're fucking around at the wrong party right here, because we're about to get to the Balrog. Fucking hell. Okay. Well, I mean, we've said everything about the Balrog should not be showing up right now, and the showrunners clearly run into that problem, because it's like, right, we've shot our bolt too early. The Balrog's now running amok, but we still need to continue this for like season 3, season 4, season whatever. Not to mention, this is what, King Durin the Third, and Durin's Bane is Durin the Sixth. That should give you a clue as to how far into the actual lineage we are with the Durins before the Balrog is even meant to show up. But what the fuck ever. In the first of many, we recreate a whole bunch of scenes from Peter Jackson's films, and well, straight up down to the look of the Balrog itself. They couldn't even be creative enough to create their own look for the Balrog. And so, what are we trying to say with this? Are we trying to say that this is actually meant to be taking place? This is meant to be a prequel to Tolkien, Christ Almighty, to Peter Jackson's works, or are we doing our own thing? Because if that's the case, and I had this problem with season 1, why make the Balrog look exactly like it did in the Peter Jackson movie? And every single chance they get, they try and recreate a scene, whether it be a line or a moment or whatever it is. Right here, the whip, the around the ankles, pulling off the edge. It's exactly the same shit. It's one of many to come in this episode. There were loads. They doubled down in this episode with the references. So he takes off the ring. He has an instant change of heart after seeing the Balrog. And you know what? I was watching this scene and I thought, under the right circumstances, with the right build-up and the right acting, just the right script, just a totally different creative team, basically. Yeah. I was watching this, you know, he turns to his son and everything like this. I was like, this scene could have actually meant something with enough build-up and everything. And I genuinely believe, and I've always said this, even in season 1 and this series, I think we're both in agreement of this. The actor who plays King Durin is actually really fucking good. Like, he brought an intensity to the role. The material he had to work with was terrible. But I could see him playing like a great Dwarven king character. And even his son, you know, Prince Durin, great actors. This moment could have had a huge amount of build-up with, you know, Durin's Bane and everything like this. And they try and look at this shit. You get the fucking Mario jump. And then you get the other guys scene. Look at this. They're like just... all the animators, the showrunners are just like coming over their screens right now. Like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome, doesn't it? I'm like, this looks... it's just cringe. He just gets fucking nuked. Look at him.
I mean, do you remember that dwarves are great jumpers?
it's wild. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just everything just felt like you said, this whole season's been Barrow Whites, chuck him in. Balrog, that's not meant to be awoken for another. Yeah. Balrog, not meant to be awoken for another 1,000 years. Yeah, let's chuck him in. Durin, did you say? Doesn't matter which number is on the end of it. We'll just have him. And, you know, I just think it's a stupid scene, because why does he do it? Why does he go and jump and try to kill it? Like, he's not preventing it from doing anything. It could still go ape and go mad. it's just meant to be like, oh, we need to get rid of the character. How do we do that? Okay, let's just have him do this. And why? I don't get why all of a sudden he's changed about the ring. He's been so corrupted by it. And now this is the moment, like, okay, I take the ring off. You have it now. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about our predictions as well. I was thinking I thought Disa would get the ring at the end, but I guess it's implied that Durin, Prince Durin is probably going to make a shift for the rings now. And the ownership of them is going to go to him, or at least one of them. So I guess that kind of fits in our wheelhouse of predictions. I thought they were going to give it to Disa, personally. Disa really doesn't have much to do, does she, towards the end of this? She just sort of rocks up and says, we need to get out of here. And that's it. But yeah, like this, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, they're trying hard with the visual effects. You can tell probably a lot of the budget went to this. Probably not this shot of him jumping, grant you, but yeah, just... It's trying so hard. It's so the whole series, but especially this episode, is the biggest try-hard thing. It thinks, oh, this is epic. This is so great, isn't it? And it's like they can't see. I don't know if it's the narcissism, the hubris, whatever it is. It's the cringiest shit they're producing.
Do you know what I love about that shot, actually, is the fact that he's jumping in super slow motion and the rocks are falling quicker. Like,
oh, God, yeah. No, you're right.
Like normal speed. It's like, okay. But I hate that shot with the whip, because you know what? We get another shot for shot later on with a certain callback. But yeah, awful. And everyone just bangs their heads on rocks nowadays and they're all safe. But yeah, that's all I had on this. They really need to address it in the next season, or else they can't just forget about it.
They won't. They'll forget about it along with the Balrog will go hang out with Durin's children.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I love that as well, actually. That Disa, Durin says, don't come down here. She completely ignores that, goes down. She could have been killed. Prince Durin could have been killed. His children just were never a thought in her mind during this. Well, during the whole show. We've only heard her mention them once in season 2. So, yeah, brilliant.
I'm surprised she didn't try and fucking sing at the Balrog. Maybe that would have worked. Right. I'll just read a few comments. Anon says, I was hoping for the Balrog to pull out a flame minigun or flame axe. Sure, why not? Go for broke at this point. Rafa says, a ridiculous lack of creativity. Yeah, I guess that's in regards to the look of the Balrog. Kahina, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, I utterly hate everything in Rune and all that. Well, you're in for a treat, because the very next scene that we're going to talk about is all in Rune, so be prepared for some Gandalf. Can we call him Gandalf at this point? Oh no, it's still the stranger, isn't it? Grandelf, whatever you want to call him. Let's have a look. What else we got? Kahina says, yeah, Durin the Third was arguably the best actor in the show. They killed off the best characters and kept all the lamest ones. Yep. Yeah. And there's one moment they kill off the lamest of them all, and they fucking bring her back to life at the end. Oh. We're already changing the law. Let's just kill Galadriel off. That's not going to have any ramifications. Let's just get rid of it. Let's see. I think this is a perfect summation right here. GT says, Rings of Power is a parody that takes itself seriously. And aren't those always the funniest as well? It's just how completely inept they are. It's like The Room.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Anon says, why is it called the Balrog? Similar fusion like Grandelf? Maybe. Yeah. What would be the equivalent?
You know what? We'll get an explanation for that in the next season. They'll fucking waste the fucking whole season of what's the Balrog's real name.
The Balrog's... Yeah, he's going to go on a spirit quest to Rune or something. No, where else? We've done Rune. Where else can we go? Where can the Balrog go?
Just awful. And we've got his scene next, haven't we? Oh.
We have. My mouse has actually died, so why is it called Balrog is going to stay on screen for just a little while longer whilst I try and reconnect my mouse. If you hear rapid clicking, it's me trying to get it fixed. But I can talk about the next scene. So we cut over to Rune where Gandalf meets I'm going to call him Saruman because the showrunners are still dodging around this, saying that, oh, he might not be Saruman. Oh, yeah, just like the stranger wasn't fucking Gandalf, and we knew that from the first time that we laid eyes on him. It's Saruman. It's quite obviously Saruman. And he's holding the halflings at knife point, and the Tusken Raiders are there. Nice to know that gem of a storyline. These bounty hunters, these Tusken Raiders or whatever they are, just absolutely wasted. They're basically like the Knights of Ren from the sequel trilogy, Star Wars. Although there was one moment I thought, oh shit, are these meant to be the Ring Wraiths? Because one of the Tusken Raiders said that, didn't he say that he was a king or something? He was a king of men?
Yes, he says that our people were kings of men.
Yeah.
And then
that got me thinking.
He kicked the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just another pointless scene, to be honest. You know, it is Saruman, come on. And then again, you think, how do you get to the point where you've got a white council when he's already this evil?
Exactly. Again, it's the snowball effect. They think that, you know, it seems like all they've watched is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they think, oh, well, Saruman's evil. It's like there's a lot of shit happens before that point, yeah? And it's annoying because there's certain things that they do make mention of, and it's like, oh, you have read the lore then, because you know of that event, and then they'll just... yeah, but yeah, when he mentioned that he was the one of the kings of men or something, I thought, oh, are we doing a thing here?
Yeah.
If they are doing a thing there and one of them's died, that means there's one space that's available, and all I'm saying is Waldrig could still be out there.
Could be. Get Galadriel's ring now and go and put it on Waldrig, please.
Sauron can go and find Waldrig and be like, you know what? Like, you've got a hell of a right hook on you. I respect that. I'm going to make you the Witch King.
You know, this scene...
like, I pledge my loyalty to you, Sauron. And then he's the Witch King. That'd be great.
That's one thing. Yeah, he's loyal to him. Please bring him back. Like, I beg you. Like, let's get a petition going. Put F's in the chat for Waldrig, please. Get it going. But yeah, he's definitely Saruman. You know, you've said it all along. You know, we've had this conversation between these two. You know, they're both students of Tom Bombadil. Just think of that. But he says that man. What did he say? You mentioned Manway. I got the quote. Was it Manway promised? I think it was like Manway promised that you'd be here, or we'll meet together. You know, and apparently it was Grandalf's idea for them to go over to Middle Earth. But Saruman got there first, 1,000 years apparently ahead of them than what they should have been. So what confused me about this scene was, is this all a big setup by Saruman to make himself look good in saving the Harfoots? Because they've got him by knife point. He's told them already, you know, capture them beforehand, you know, do whatever you want with him. You know, we need Gandalf. But then he's come all innocent going, oh, you know, I told you not to harm them. So that innocent Luke doesn't end well later on when he breaks all the rocks. But I don't get what they're trying to do here during this scene as well, because it's as if he saves them and then Nori's angry because he's killed someone who was trying to kill them. And then then he's the bad guy and loses his temper, and then he just wanders off. This is your Rune plot, man. We've been building up to this big battle, which happened off screen.
Yeah.
What happened during that point, actually? During those scenes, the last scene that we had with them, they said they're prepared to fight. And then the next scene is that they've already all been captured.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Again, this is a trend for season 2. Like, just everything happens off screen. You know, the construction of the rings, the construction of the Dwarven rings and the rings of men. And now, it feels like a huge amount of stuff got cut with this whole Rune stuff, because the moth bitches who were in episode 1, where are they? What do they do? Why aren't they around? They were working for Saruman, apparently. They didn't all die. They're still around. We set up these bounty hunter, Tusken Raider-like characters, and they never really pose any kind of threat, and then they're just dispatched. They rock up to the stores like they're gonna, shake the place up, like the Gestapo coming in kind of thing, and then they just fuck off and don't do anything. There's been no sense of like real threat or menace or, and Kieran Hines, you get Kieran fucking Hines. Oh yeah, we get our last Jedi moment here of Rey fucking Grand Elf Skywalker lifting all the rocks so that everyone can escape. Great. But doesn't one of the rocks fall on one of the stores before that point? It's like, oh yeah, thanks for lifting the rocks back then. But yeah, you get Kieran Hines, who is a good actor, who is incredibly talented. And what do you do with him? It's just I couldn't tell you anything about his character. It's just nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Like, just think, we have spent 2 seasons with him baiting. Oh, is he Gandalf? Is he not? He pretty much is Gandalf. And then we've basically spent this whole season of him finding out what his name is and finding his staff. And it was all pointless because he leaves Nori in the end.
Yeah.
So what was the point? And yeah, this scene's absolutely ridiculous as well. Like, why would Saruman go through all of this trouble to break these rocks to try? He said he'll get Gandalf himself if he has to, and then he just fucks off.
Yeah.
He just goes away. He's like, all right, then, you come to me when you're ready. I'll be waiting. What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, man. They really messed with the pacing and the writing of this scene. Who cares about this?
Mm-hmm.
And he's so powerful. Look at this.
I'm just watching this, even without sound. Look how cheap and how terrible all this looks. Hang on, it's when he does like the fucking airbender. Look at this, where he just punches. Yeah, look at that. What the fuck are we doing?
What's he doing? It's like
What's
something from Power Rangers.
Like, even the props just look terrible. Like, compare that to Saruman's staff from the Peter Jackson movies, right? And it looks like it's made of obsidian, and you've got like the marble at the top, and it kind of looks like the Orthanc Tower as well, which is really cool. Even just looking at it, you can kind of get everything from Saruman's personality from the look of the staff alone. It's very industrial. It's very, manufactured and whatnot. And this, everything looks like a plastic. When we get to Gandalf's staff later on, it looks like they've 3D model printed the staff and forgot to like put all the paintwork on it or actually detail it. It's just, what is that thing? It looks so fucking bad. Everything looks bad, and this budget is huge, and you can't see the money on screen. This has to be like some kind of like money laundering scheme or something. It has to be, because I'm not seeing the money on screen from any of this. Maybe you could argue like some of the stuff from the Balrog, but even then I'd argue that the special effects don't look as good as a movie from 20 plus years ago with that. The acting is so bad from this as well, especially the actor who plays Gandalf. Really, really bad. And it kills me because, as I said, like, Kieran Hines is a quality actor, and casting him as Saruman, like, hell yeah, like, that's not a bad choice, I suppose. You're never, ever, ever going to compare to Sir Christopher Lee. I get that, but if you're doing, you could do much worse than Kieran Hines, and you just give him nothing. You actually get actors of, the actors that you get enough talent, you give them nothing. And it's just, I couldn't even tell you what happened in this whole Rune storyline. It was just, what is it? So Gandalf got his name and his staff. That was it. Everything we set up, as I said, like the moths and like the stores. So do you think like Nori and Poppy are out of this now? Because they just kind of fuck off. Do you think they'll bring them back again for season 3 if it makes it to a season 3? Or do you think they're done?
I think they'll be in it. And I think they'll be setting up the Shire.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they did.
But I don't know what Gandalf's going to be doing. I really don't. I think this could be him gone. Because what is he going to do?
Well, I mean, the last shot that we get of Saruman in this is just, he just stands in a window, doesn't he? And just looks out of it.
I mean, they might be teasing that. Is that going to be the next storyline for him? He's going to see Saruman and turn him. Like, what's the point in Saruman in this season?
Yeah.
Really, what is his point? He started off with the moth women, which they were hunting for him and Sauron. Like, if he's in charge of the Moth women, why was he after Sauron? Because that's who they wanted to get at first, because the Moth women were like, "You're not Sauron," and then he went, "I am good," and then now he's like, "Oh yeah, we want to fight Sauron, but also we want you," and it's like, what? If you could take all of this scene, all of the Rune scenes out, cut the runtime, it wouldn't make a difference, would it, really, if their scenes have gone?
No.
What do you gain?
We set up nothing with this. The fact that Nori and Poppy had to go with him as well, absolutely, utterly pointless. They didn't really contribute anything. Like, what did Poppy do this series? Well, she fell in love with Rufio, apparently, from day one, like love at first sight kind of thing. That gem of a storyline. Nori was just kind of there. We've set up some kind of like ancient prophecy of the fucking Shire and bringing Lenny Henry's character back into the discussion. And then, yeah, you have Saruman, or maybe he isn't. Like Kahina here says, I think they are not that crazy, referring to the showrunners. I think they are. Well, personally, I think they are. But says he is a bad blue wizard, probably, in their conception, starting cults. See, I initially thought that too. I thought they could go that way. I mean, from the picture, from the kind of look of the staff, from his appearance and everything, and the white robes, I'm like, that's Saruman the White. But I thought, maybe there's a chance he could be a blue wizard. We are in Rune. But then that would be your opportunity to actually cast someone of another ethnicity, which this show seems to fucking love doing every time. But when it actually stands to reason where you could do that for Rune or something like that, they chose not to. Very interesting, that, isn't it? When I actually said that the Rune culture would be great to explore, because the books don't really explore it all that much. Here's your chance. And they don't do it. So I thought maybe he could be a blue wizard, right up until the point Tom Bombadil was banging on about him wanting to side with Sauron. And I was like, okay. We're doing Saruman. Again, like the Balrog, really fucking prematurely. Because as you said, like, what are the ramifications of this? All of the White Council scenes, banishing the Necromancer from Dol Guldur, just everything to do with his character, Korean favor, and befriending the Rohirrim for a time, which it looks like we're going to get in the War of the Rohirrim film. All of these events that take place, his manipulation is very, very slow. And, he does start as a good guy inherently, and then that starts to crack a little bit during the White Council and discovering, hearing about the One Ring and him seeking power. He's always sought power, but it's not until that much later date where he starts to fall to the dark side, essentially. So, yeah, it's all fucked. And Keena says as well, anyhow, that entire storyline is a disaster, referring to Rune. A key point of The Lord of the Rings is that it was the one moment for hobbits to rise up and shine. So get out of here. Yeah. Speaking of get out of here, I loved it when Mama Clump in slow motion went like, everybody out during this scene. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, mate. During this scene, I'm not sure if you can see it during this. You've got hobbits that can see the rocks falling, and they're just standing there. They just let it fall on them. There's one that slow motion. They could jump out the way, but instead they're going to try and block it with their arms.
Yeah.
And I agree. The actor for Saruman, he's a good actor, but he's wasted. And I don't think it'll be a blue wizard. That's definitely Saruman. This is the Amazon. Luke,
that one. Yeah. No, it's like Austin Powers with the guy with the steamroller, where he's like, no, like the slowest moving thing.
I mean,
mighty. Look at this shit.
We'll probably answer this question in the next episode, but if you could have a favorite moment in Rune with this storyline,
Oh god, that's tough. I can't say Bombadil. Every scene was just abysmal. That's a tough ask, man. It's difficult finding a positive per episode, but none of my positives would have been from Rune. Maybe can I just say like the casting of other than the casting of Kieran Hines as totally not Saruman? I don't think I can do it. I don't think. No, I can't. I'm trying. I'm really trying, and I can't. Like, set design, there's no sense of geography with the place. I don't feel like I get a good sense of the culture. We've just resorted to another Hobbit clan when this could have been a great opportunity to see some of the people of Rune. We could have explored the Blue Wizards, these evil cults they may be set up, or maybe they actually were on the side of the angels. Yeah, more about the Istar. We get nothing. This, honestly, I keep doing comparisons to the recent Disney Plus Star Wars shows, but honestly, it's so apt. A lot of what Disney Star Wars does, Solo is a good example of this, but they also do it in The Acolyte, is that they'll quickly tease like a villain or a character cameo. Like in the last, spoiler for the last episode of Acolyte, they show Darth Plagueis emerging from behind a rock and just peering out. That's it. That's all you get. 5 seconds. The very last shot, you get the back of Yoda's head, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what's next. Or maybe you're like, don't even fucking try. In the end of Solo, Darth Maul shows up randomly on a hologram, and you're like, whoa, I wonder where this could go. This feels like the equivalent of this. It's like, we're going to give you just a little bit. Okay, he's an Istar, and he's evil, and he's probably Saruman, but we're not actually in an 8-episode series, in an 8-hour series. What ground have we covered with this whole Rune storyline? Like, nothing. We don't. I don't feel like I know anything about Ciarán Hinds' character. And you get an actor of that caliber, you could have scenes of them talking. We could see that friendship. We could see that connection with the Istar. We could learn more about the Istar. Hell, maybe we could even see the Blue Wizards for a fucking change. That's new ground you could cover. Yes, it's from the books, and if you want to take artistic liberties with it and do your own thing with it, that's the kind of stuff that you can do that stuff with. The stuff that Tolkien didn't really write much about, and you can fan fiction whatever you want out of it. This is some of the worst shit I've ever seen. And, you know, it's like the clips that we looked at in the last episode. It's like a fucking train wreck watching these on loop, but strangely, you can't look away from them. I've watched this clip on loop how many times now, and I'm just, every time on the repeat, I'm bewildered by how staggeringly awful it is.
Yeah.
It's mesmerizing.
I think I saw a couple of comments in the chat, which is true, you know. Well, Anon says their favorite character was the mask guy, but they were so inconsistent. 1 minute they're hot on their trail, they found where they are, and then they've gone back to tell Saruman that, Luke, we found them, what shall we do? The last episode, they'll say, like, you know, we'll be back with force. And then with this one, they had it where they had Nori and Poppy, their main leader dies, and instead of, you know, taking them as hostage or, you know, killing them straight away, they just let them go. It's like, okay, these are meant to be feared. They're meant to be menacing. They're nothing. What's the point in them this season? What did you learn from them? Apart from one throwaway line saying they were once kings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you learn?
Yeah, Nothing. They flip-flop all over the place, don't they? I really hope that they do turn out to be the ring wraiths, because I'd love it if they actually did apprehend Frodo or something, and it's like, let them go. It's like, oh, sorry, it's just a misunderstanding. Like, off you go.
But I don't get how we're going to get to that point, you know? How are we going to get to the point when Anatar is going to be fucking meeting up with these and giving the rings? How?
Well, they've clearly proven themselves worthy in this series, haven't they? The fucking 9. Great. Wonderful. I'm just thinking, if they are going to speed run the 9, I feel like it needs to be characters that have kind of been established a little bit already.
Theo, 100%.
Yeah. He likes being a low man, apparently.
Ah, the Lord of yeah. Oh my God, he's a lord apparently.
There was a line during this scene. I think Saruman says it, but I'm not sure. And I wrote it down because it feels like maybe it's a callback. But he says, "Pity will not defeat Sauron." And I just thought, are we doing the whole, like, it was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand? Again, I might be reaching with that, but honestly, this show just it triggers me to that kind of stuff, especially this episode. If that wasn't a blatant callback, don't worry, there will be lots of blatant callbacks later on. But Kahina says, yeah, by having Gandalf around at this time and the Astari, Gandalf's around in the Second Age. Why did Gandalf ignore the fall of Numenor? And where was he during the Last Alliance? Yeah, these, again, you fuck around with it. It's the snowball effect. All these pivotal events that Gandalf could have helped with.
Kahina, you've just opened something up, right? So he's already been told in this season that his purpose is to fight and stop Sauron. So where is he during the Battle of the Last Alliance? That's his perfect opportunity to stop Sauron. What?
Fuck.
How are they going to explain that? Is Tom Bombadil just stopping him? Like, you've literally just opened up something.
So, Totally Not Saruman mentions about wanting to side with Sauron. Has he had an audience with him already? Because dude's over in Eregion. Like, you could travel there and probably go and meet Anatar right now and curry favor with him if you want to. Has he already had an audience with Sauron, or has he never met the guy?
Well, he's after him, isn't he? Like, that's the point of season 1, is that he sent these moth women after him. Fucking Rings of Power, everyone.
We're over an hour and we're already on the second scene.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus wept. We'll try and get through this a little bit quicker. Dirty Sanchez says Tusken Raiders calling their ancestors kings pretty much confirms 8 Nazgul plus Rufio Nazgul. Oh, fuck. Season 3, looking for a hat. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, we got to pad this shit out somehow, haven't we? And Rafa says $1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is what $1 billion gets you right there. Fuck me, there are fan films that have been made on a fraction of that budget that look way better than this shit. Remember that Hunt for Gollum movie that came out before they're actually making a Hunt for Gollum movie? They took that off YouTube as well. Can you imagine the balls that Warner Brothers have? A fan film that came out back, Christ, I don't know, since like the dawn of the internet, and they took it offline because it was also called for the Hunt for Gollum, even though that did it first.
I truthfully, have you ever seen a Born of Hope film? It's a fan film to do with
I feel like I have.
Aragorn's father.
Yes.
I forgot the name. Yeah. The name's on my mind. But that was a great short fan film. Way better than this.
For the budget, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Right.
And so much reverence for the source material as well, you could tell.
Oh, we should watch that, you know.
That's a shout. Yeah, I mean, sound off in the comments if you guys would be interested in watching us watch like other Lord of the Rings stuff, because honestly, it's been a long time since I watched those fan films. A long time. So we still need to do Russian Hobbit as well. That's another thing I need to do. I've watched the Swedish one. Got a fucking copyright claim on my channel for that, so I need to tread carefully because you know what Russians are like.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's any Russians watching, I love you. You know, don't at me. Anon says, why do the hobbits not pick up the rocks and move them? Surely staying where they are is a better option than wandering the wasteland. They're big. I mean, they're big rocks. Just pick up the rocks. Well, they are pretty adept with throwing rocks, aren't they? That's a skill that most hobbits have. I don't know if they could like fucking boulder like these that are coming down, but
I mean, they've got to move. How that? And I don't know where they're going to go, but they're going to have to take a lot of food and a lot of water, which, by the way, they get their water from nicking it from was it like a fallow village or something? Yeah. So they need water to sustain the whole clan, but they'll probably, Nori will lead them down this genocide of, you know, leave the crippled, leave everyone, you know. Oh, but brilliant, isn't it? The more I watch this scene, the more it's just like, wow. And there was a perfect comment actually by Anon. He's doing all of this without his staff. Why the fuck does he need one?
Yeah, great fucking point. Yeah.
What's the point?
Oh my God.
Like, what is the point of him having a staff?
How does this get past the fucking writer's room? It's what Mosine says. He says, everyone is wasted making this, especially the writer's room. I want whatever they're smoking. Absolutely. How does this even get past the script stage?
It shouldn't.
It makes me so fucking mad that this is. It makes, you know what, like, we've had someone in the comments earlier saying that they actually like the season and they like bits of it. You know, whatever, however you get your kicks, it's all good. But how can you objectively say that this is good? Is, as a Lord of the Rings show, $1 billion behind it, this is the best that we could get? Can you seriously tell me that this is the best that we can do? It just, yeah.
Amazing.
It makes me so mad. It just, I kept saying, I mentioned this loads of times. When this series first started, I was like, I know what I'm getting in for. I ain't going to get mad about this. I ain't going to get angry. I'm not going to let the blood pressure rise. It's all going to be A-okay. And look at me now. I'm on the 1296, very good year. And it's helping right now. This is the final one. It's a celebration. It's a celebration that the Rings of Power is finally over for another 2 years. God help us all. It's here to stay, I fear.
It's done.
It's done. Yes, yeah, that's what it feels like. Rafa says that rock took 2 business days to fall. A sidestep will solve the issue. Yeah, you ain't wrong. My God. Keep your comments coming in. I know a lot are pouring in. I'm going to try and do my best to get through as many as possible. Some might slip through the cracks, but I will get to them. Numenor, if you'd like to take this one, we open with Elendil's daughter gathering the faithful.
Yes, because the show is playing that she's not evil, really, even though she fucking is. Like, she's caused all of this, but they're trying to, curry favor with her. They're trying to get her back on side, and they've gathered all the faithful up. And apparently the faithful, Numenor, the Numenorians knew that Halbrand is Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who sent them that? Like, I'm guessing it's Gil-galad. I just love how they know before Celebrimbor did.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're arresting the faithful, and they're going to be chucking them in jail, or are they going to be sacrificing them? Who knows? But Inari, and whatever the fuck her name is, she's in charge. And so we have this scene, right, where she escapes to go and tell Elendil that, Luke, they're after you. They're coming for you. Now, I don't know if they're trying to paint Elendil as a bad dad, but not once did he go, come with me. You're my daughter. Like, I love you. Come with me and we can escape this. He just fucks off. And not once does she go, can I come with you? Like, this is a bad situation. We got to get out. No. So what am I meant to get from this scene? This is meant to be a good act. And by the way, she's meant to be intimidating during this scene. And she comes across as so suspicious because she's like, you have some Numenorian soldiers that are going house to door, and they're trying to find more faithful. And she's like, oh, don't search in there. And he's like, no, I'm going to go and search in there. And she's like, shall I tell our Pharazon that you're disobeying me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what? You seem so fucking suspicious. Why are you doing this? And like I say, it leads off to them fucking... She turns around, Elendil's gone, apparently. And yeah, amazing. Numenor, what a shit show, man. We've literally... I think in the next season, we're going to be having the fall of Numenor.
Yeah, that's my prediction as well.
Think about that. How the hell have we reached that point?
Man, there's so much we could have done, like with the Ar-Pharazôn stuff. Like, we could have made this. This is like your most like Game of Thronesy kind of stuff that you could have really done with it. Really build that political intrigue up and really, rev up Ar-Pharazôns. Because I think you asked me a couple of episodes ago, what do you think to the actor who's playing Ar-Pharazôn? I'm 2 seasons deep now. I can't give you a straight answer for that. I just can't, because I don't feel like I've seen enough of him. We get little bits, but it's kind of just instigating the plot. It's just still, we're going to clear out the faithful now, and that's it, and then we'll cut to something else. We're not actually spending... There's no... You mentioned it at the beginning, there's no meat to the story. There's no substance. We get like Cliff Note events. We're speed running through Cliff Note events that are all happening out of whack and at different times. None of this shit should even be happening. The dude's not even meant to be born until like 3,000 years into the Second Age. and I forgot what exact time they said this was set. I think they did mention when they did season 1, they gave us a date. Was it like 1,800 into the Second Age or something like that? It's all fucked. We're truncating all of these events. And I know that Peter Jackson did that too a little bit. For example, you've got in the Fellowship of the Ring, you skip out you skip out the Old Forest, Tom Bombadil, the Barrow Downs, I get it. But you skip out that kind of 17-year time jump as well, where Gandalf bombs off. Kind of, although we're getting the Hunt for Gollum movie now, 2 movies apparently, so I guess that's going to fill in those 17 years a little bit. But we're just not getting... I feel like how we get to certain events, like this part here where they're clearing out the faithful and they're ripping people out of their homes, and it almost reminded me of the scene from Game of Thrones. I think it was season 2 where Joffrey orders all of the is it the sons with black hair or whatever it is, or the first whatever it is, to all be like murdered or whatever. It reminded me of that, and I just feel like this feels like we've skipped seasons. We should have done like a slow build to all of this stuff. But yeah, what it's on track to do, I honestly think that we are going to get the Fall of Numenor next series if it makes it to season 3, which is ridiculous. You know, he's declaring everyone traitors of Westerness. I believe he says in the episode, he's completely sacking the city of the faithful. We've got Elendil who's bombing off to meet Anarion. Anarion's mentioned as well. I think, wasn't Anarion mentioned once in season 1? Like he mentioned Isildur's older brother or something. It's nice that... I love the Kermit, I just saw that. I think he did, yeah. I swear there was one mention. He mentions having another son. Because I was like, yeah, you should really have Anarion and all this. I was like, where is Anarion? We've created a daughter character out of whole cloth. And honestly, she has been a bitch this series. Almost feels like a completely different character since season 1. But you know what? I don't blame Elendil for not wanting to have anything to do with his daughter. Like, after how she treated him in the jail cell last time, fuck her. She's done. I was expecting her character to have a bit of a change, and I don't feel like we ever got that. And yeah, that I don't know where we stand with that relationship between her and Elendil at this point, and I don't even think the showrunners know either.
It's done, isn't it? It's kaput. He's gone.
Yeah,
he's left her. You know, wow, what a leader! And like you say, what annoys me as well, we had the plot point the last time we saw them of, you know, trial by big fish. And we had that point of, oh, you know, we stopped our Pharazon and here we go, we're free now. And then we've just gone back on that straight away. It's like, oh, no, you're not, because Sauron controlled it. It's like, all right, then. You literally went down the story of, you know, it's the Valar's will. And then it's like, oh, Sauron controls the Valar. This is wrong. Like, what was the point in that big scene when Muriel did a sacrifice? What was the point? And I agree on Ar-Pharazôn. He's meant to be this big leader, you know, manipulator, brilliant. He's meant to be an antagonist. What have we got of him? Can you remember any scenes that we've got, really, of him, you know, being a presence? Yeah, we had an eagle that fucking stood behind him and he's king now.
I was going to say, he rose to ascendancy because he stood near a window where an eagle randomly perched. He mentioned some kind of bullshit prophecy about how Kermit is destined to fail or something like that. And then, yeah, I feel like that's pretty... he stared into a Palantir in one scene. We never really got any kind of payoff to the whole Palantir thing, I don't feel.
And I really don't know how they're going to tie it in with, because the Numenorians need to arrest it, Anatar, and they need to bring him back. Now, are they claiming that they've already done that, sowing the seeds in season 1, and we're not going to get Halbrand back in Numenor? I don't get how they're going to do it. Who's going to get him?
Well, they mentioned, don't they, in the well, this is a later scene, I suppose, but how Kermit rocks up to Pelagia, isn't it? And he says that we want so much timber from you because Ar-Pharazôn wants to build his armada. So I guess we're getting towards that with season 3. He's mobilized, you know, he's creating his armies, huge militaristic Numenorian force, and then that's the force that he takes when he gets to, well, I think he marches all the way to Mordor, I think, pretty much, and calls out Sauron and brings him back in chains to Numenor, if I remember rightly. So,
how are we going to get that within the next season? And the fall of Numenor? You need Sauron to be full on manipulating these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw how they handled Sauron manipulating people in this series, which I guarantee the showrunners thought was excellent with the whole Celebrimbor situation and everyone surrounding it. Newsflash, it wasn't, and we'll get onto that once we start talking about Celebrimbor and everything. And I feel if they do the Numenor story under the same circumstances, it's just going to be more of the same. I don't see how it can be any different.
Yeah, 100%. What it'll be is there'll be Sauron says hello, and then it cuts to the next scene, and then they're all there. They're all under his finger. You know, it's so poor, man. Absolutely poor.
Maybe Mr. Mouse will make a comeback.
Oh, please! I hope he's okay. Like, no joke, he's legit been the most consistent character of season 2 of the whole show. But speaking of poor, you gotta love this scene. And boy, oh boy, what a scene it is. Just think, we wouldn't have got Elendil wouldn't have got Narsil if it wasn't for Miriel.
Dude, I just watched. It's the fucking same shot.
They rip it off.
The close up, the flip in the hand, cut to the wide shot with Miriel, his expression, drawing the sword, wide shot, and then he takes. Oh,
it's the way that he pulls it out and then lifts it straight up.
Yeah,
put aside it's the same.
Become who you were born to be. Sauron will not have forgotten the sword of Elendil.
Oh my god!
And you can almost hear the fucking Howard Shore music there, can't you? This is ridiculous. Right, okay. Hang on. Oh, fucking hell! This weighs a ton. Get off the fucking stand.
just look at that.
Shit. Hang on. Okay. Right. Peter Jackson references. I was looking out for this, and I think I did see this in season 1. I was like, please don't make it the same fucking sword design. Please. And I was looking at it, and I was watching the episode, and I was eyeing this. It's the fucking same. Look at the fucking crossguard. Look at this part of the grip. Look at the pommel. It's exactly all they've done. It's like, again, it's like the 3D printing thing. It looks like they fucking cheaply 3D printed it or spray painted it because it's kind of like a creamy white design or something. Like, even the scabbard's the same. If you look at this design at the top here, it's like they've taken the exact same prop from the movie and just like bleached it a different color. Look at this. See how it's the fucking same pretty much. I literally can't get over that. We talked about the Balrog earlier, so I was watching this and I was thinking, well, where do we stand with this? Is this meant to be a prequel to the Peter Jackson movies? Because we're ripping off scenes like this. We're ripping off fucking props, apparently, now, as well. Even Gandalf's staff design later on, it kind of has that twisted root kind of look like Ian McKellen's original staff did. Whether that be the Hobbit one, which was kind of like the flame, wasn't it? Or the one that he has in The Lord of the Rings. But this scene boiled my piss watching this. It really did. I can't believe this show can't stand on its own. We have to stand on the shoulders of giants and just keep. Do you remember The Lord of the Rings? Do you remember it? Do you remember these films that were so much fucking better than this? I couldn't remember how exact it was until I just watched this clip there. It's that when it cuts that wide shot with Miriel, like that. Go on, because I'm gonna go off on one.
And she's the one to give it him, you know. And so we have during this scene that he says that there's faithful in the West, and that Enorian, he's here, is amongst them, and they're gonna sail, and they're really shipping Miriel and Elendil, because he's like, I don't want to go without you. You know, we're going together. And for some reason, she's like, nah, I'm going to stay. I'm going down with the ship. I'm the captain now. And it's like, okay, brilliant. And so, yeah, Elendil just goes. He's one of these people that go, oh, no, I'll do it. And then when they say, oh, no, it's okay, don't do it, they're like, okay, then, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's all fucking talk, honestly. And I don't mind the actor, but can you say this is a good Elendil?
I think given good material, I think he could have been. I don't have a problem with the actor. Like a lot of the time, like King Durin, Prince Durin, the guy who plays Elendil, those three are probably my favorite if I had to pick across both seasons. But half the time with Elendil, he just looks weak all of the time, or confused, or. But I think with good writing, I think genuinely he could have been a good Elendil. I do, but none of the circumstances leading up to this or anything surrounding the character, perpetuate that at all. And this just kind of cements it that he doesn't have. It's not like he makes the sword on his own or he earns that sword. He is just given it, just outright. Like, there it is. Do you remember that prop? Do you remember this moment from the film? And Miriel's the one to do it. Also, I've written a note down here, but I may have heard it wrong in the show because even by this point I was already mentally tuned out of the episode. I heard that like Elendil plans to leave to find faithful in the west. What's west of Numenor other than Valinor? I thought Numenor was like the main island and then everything to the west was the Undying Lands. Or am I missing something?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I heard it wrong because I know that he mentioned an Arion and then he says like, I plan to leave to find faithful in the west. And I thought, well, good luck, mate, because men aren't allowed to enter the utmost west at this point.
I'll have a look. It says here, we must leave for the west. There are faithful there.
That's what I mean. What's in the west other than the west?
Yeah, is it the western side of the island? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
But there's faithful there. And yeah, there's a load of them apparently. So they've all got to go. And like you say, they're going to be doing them moving to Middle Earth next season and establishing the realms. Like, how are they going to do this, man?
I don't know. Maybe what realm do we need to establish? What Gondor do we need to establish?
Gondor and
well, maybe he'll just plug Narsil into something and twist it, and there you go. Minas Tirith will just spring out of the ground or something. There you go.
Brilliant, man. And yeah, the Elendil is meant to be learning from Miriel. This is Miriel's his inspiration, his hero, apparently, during this season. What's he taught her? What she taught him, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking, just jump in the sea with a big fish, because the sea's always right. Lead your army into a fucking volcanic eruption. Brilliant, man. She should be hung, drawn and quartered for what she did, but she's just allowed to roam freely.
I keep forgetting she got spat out by the Kraken a couple of episodes ago. That happened.
Oh, bath time, but Braille. Yeah, like, I mean, she's always looking up, man. Yeah. You know, blind people, like, they move their eyes around, they're constantly moving. Here, she's always looking up.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of off-putting a little bit, isn't it? How she plays it.
But
oh god,
I mean, what do you think of Miriel? What
is there to say? I mean, just everything's just kind of flatlined. Everything's just maintained from the last series. No, my opinion hasn't changed on a damn thing. It's exactly what we got last time around. What did I have to say on Miriel in season 1? I can't even remember. She's just so. This series, though, I think she probably had more to do in season 1 than she did in this. She's just kind of almost like set dressing in this one a lot of the time for me. She's just kind of give big ups to Elendil a few times throughout the series. She got eaten by the Kraken and then she didn't, and that's it. That's all I want to say that happened with Miriel this series.
And she's gonna,
but
Just think, man. It's going to end probably the fall of Numenor. The last shot is probably going to be her staring out.
Yeah.
And the waves come over.
Well, at least she won't see it, so that's fine.
Someone's there.
Hear it coming.
Someone's whispering in her ear like, "There's waves coming in the distance." I know, I can hear it. Fuck, man. What a shower of shit. And then, you know what? The writers are going to build up to this emotional end. They're going to be like, "Oh, aren't you upset? Muriel's gone."
Mm-hmm.
No, not really. Don't really care. And somehow she's going to have to get married to our Farazon. So,
yes.
woo-hoo.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'd love to see how they're going to handle that.
Yeah.
Probably with the same deft and tactful nature that they have throughout the rest of the series, I'm sure. Bath Time says, I can't lie, I quite enjoyed the final episode. It was enjoyable trash instead of boring trash. I see your point. I can see what you're saying. I think it's more fun when we talk about it here than it is when I'm actually in the moment watching the episode. It's a real struggle, guys. It's a real fucking struggle to get through it. And Anon says, I like Rings of Power because it's the most entertaining time on YouTube when it's on. Fair enough.
That is true, to be fair. There's a lot of good videos out there.
And Bath Time says, it did kind of feel that they set the show up to kind of end in Series 2 in case of cancellation. I don't know how I feel about that. There were some threads where maybe the Gandalf stuff kind of does a little bit. You could probably make an argument that, well, I don't know, the Dwarven stuff maybe looks like
he dropped that. He dropped that line, didn't he, at the end? And saying, oh, everyone's after the rings and that. But I don't know,
Yeah.
I mean, Sauron's plot's wide open. And the fucking Power Rangers at the end, wide open.
Yeah. Yeah, Anon's got a quote here. I can't remember who says it. It says, it seems she has allies of cunning powers, an ally who has already bruised Numenor once. When in the series, Sauron bruised Numenor.
Balrog, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, what's he done in Numenor at the moment?
Well, he seemed like he was actually really reasonable last time he was in Numenor as Halbrand. You had there is a tempest in me. It was that scene, wasn't it, with Galadriel and Halbrand. Sauron is the only fucking reasonable one out of everyone there. If you ask me what was the Dark Lord, like tyrannical overlord of everything, my money would have been on Galadriel, but in that moment, but
still is for me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. For next week, guys, I'm going to treat you to something because I saw randomly that popped up on my timeline. Do you know, like one of those Twilight love edits?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one that was styled at how Sauron and Galadriel. So I'll get that and I'll put that on screen for you because it's fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How they've got a load of quotes and bigged them up as such a power couple. Brilliant.
Jesus wept. It ain't going to get much better, guys. We're moving on to Eregion right now. What gets me is, as well as, to be fair, this only just occurred to me right before I watched this episode. They keep calling Eregion like that's the city. I think, oh, by the way, we didn't mention this. I actually found out this after the fact, but the appearance of Eregion between season 1 and season 2 is completely different. Like, it just shows how much they're keeping track of what everything looks like visually. Anyway, that's by the by. They keep calling Eregion. Like, the city is called Eregion, but I think the city is actually called Ostinethil, isn't it? I think the city is Ostinethil, and the region is Eregion. So when Sauron sacks Eregion, he sacks everything around Ostinethil and all surrounding provinces and cities in the region of Eregion. It'd be like, I don't know, Sauron attacks London and they say, oh no, Europe has fallen. I'm like, well, hang on. Like, it's a place, it's a city within everything else. So I don't know. That's just one thing. But we open with a kind of one shot, and you could tell that the showrunners were probably really proud of this, like from a cinematography standpoint, like, oh, we got this cool one shot that's unbroken and everything's all set up. I don't know. I'm just, if a one shot's done well, it can be effective, but I'm just kind of over them now. It doesn't mean something. It makes something instantly more impressive for me if that's done in a film for no artistic reason. It felt just very showy. I don't know. That was just me. Maybe I'm being just like needlessly like mean against this now, but it's just, yeah, here we are. Yeah.
I will say this. The opening of this battle, this 2-episode battle, by the way,
yes,
is fucking stupid. And I'll tell you why. So the orcs are still firing catapults into a city that they've already taken. And this is Adar, who loves his children. It's just firing catapults in there. Why? And like you say, you've got all the elven soldiers getting killed, but look at Galadriel, that orc. Then he's got a right hand free to hit it. That one walks into it.
Yeah. This one just completely ignores Galadriel. Look, completely ignores her. She stood there.
That one doesn't kill the person.
Yeah.
Like, what was that orc gonna do? Like, it literally holds it by her throat.
Yeah.
Look, there you go. Walks, he's dead. And then watch this one. He's like, ignores the rest, grabs this one. Okay, let's have a kiss. All right, start that one. Oh, there you go.
Wait, in that moment there, where that one runs in from the right, does Galadriel hold her sword up to like block something a little bit too early? Like, here, look, stance.
Oh,
and then it rushes it. Like,
I think it was reacting to. I think there's some rubble.
Okay,
that dropped.
Well, yeah, because holding your fucking sword up's really going to make a difference, isn't it? Maybe the stores back in Rune should have had swords they could just hold up like that to block falling rubble. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
I just love the fact that, that first orc doesn't see that there's people in that passage. It's like, okay, I'm just going to run with no weapon.
Wait, does she shove that orc over and it's instantly dead?
Yeah.
Is that what just happened?
There you go. Brilliant.
The other mother looks mildly irritated and just picks up the child again.
Have you noticed all what type of people she's saving?
Yes. Yeah, of course they fucking did. Yeah. Jesus wept. Yeah.
So yeah, you have this one shot, which if I had... See, I didn't mind the one shot apart from them firing the catapults into the city, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have that one elf who jumps down and gets killed because, those elves are shit. And we have the commander of the Northern Armies here, who's brilliant. Stab, twist, and gut. So, yeah, they've overrun Eregion, and then they lead them out through the secret tunnel, which Galadriel, I'm assuming she went in that way to get into the city. So obviously it wasn't guarded then, but somehow it's guarded now. They know where it is. The secret tunnel, which the orcs know. And so they come out of the tunnel and bang, the orcs are there. And Galadriel's like, okay, I've got a reason why. Take me, let the other people go. I've got the 9 rings. I'll give them to you. Take me to Adar. As if an orc would be like, all right then. You come with me. You elves, go away. You're free. Mm-hmm. What? And they do it.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
She bribes them, doesn't she? She bribes the orcs with the 9 rings of men and says, I'll give you these. And I was thinking, are the orcs even aware of the rings of power at this point? Because the 9 have just been created in secret with Celebrimbor and Sauron.
Oh my
Celebrimbor's got them out and given them to Galadriel for safekeeping. How are the orcs aware that 9 rings have been created?
100%.
Like, she just goes, I'll give you these. And immediately they're like, oh, I know what those are. Yeah, those are really sought after. Be like, well, what the fuck's that? What's in the bag?
Yeah. And I love the fact that Celebrimbor sacrificed himself, to delay, to give time for Galadriel to go and get rid of the rings, yet she's willing to fucking give him away the first chance that she's got. It's like, brilliant. Well done. Like, you're so amazing at fighting. You took on all of those orcs in the forest that time, but now you're like, okay, I've got 9 reasons.
Oh God, yeah.
Looking, I've got 13 reasons after this shower of shite. Awful,
well, you mentioned Celebrimbor. He cut to him. I just burst out laughing. Anatar's just turned him into like a human pincushion. It's fucking hilarious. Just cut to him. But I think this is actually maybe in the law. It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
Oh man,
legend, absolutely legend. Oh, the Celebrimbor face. I love it. The hairdo actually suits him in that as well.
Brilliant. I should have put Yaddle on it.
Nobody messes with the dude. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I think in the lore it's mentioned that Celebrimbor is like peppered with arrows, and his body is held upon a staff. And I think it's paraded around the Grey Havens actually when it's attacked. So we might get Celebrimbor back in season 3, I guess, like wafting around on a pole. So they kind of do that a little bit with Anatar doing it. Sure, okay. I thought it was just funny though. I don't know why I found it funny. I don't know if it was like the actor, or if it was just when it hard cut to him just getting casually peppered with that. I don't know. It tickled me, that part. I really got a kick out of that. It's the face. It's the face.
Oh my God.
How big are those fucking arrows?
The thing is, they've put him in places where you can clearly tell he's holding them under his arm.
Yeah.
Like, they've not put any central. They're just like, okay, he's there. Just look at him in the background. He's going mental.
They're like spears. They are like Ace Ventura spears. These arrows are just like comically huge.
Look, man. And, you know, this is Celebrimbor's last moments. There's a really, really cool piece of artwork of Celebrimbor's death where you have him on this pole being paraded with being full of arrows, and it's like, damn, that's quite, you know, quite emotional. But then you look at this. This is how Celebrimbor died, because Sauron got angry, and then they made it out as if Sauron was upset because he killed him. Like he was crying.
He cries. Yeah, Sauron, the Lord of Darkness, is crying. And the orcs walk in. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And he goes on this big speech, you know, saying that, oh, you will be the Lord of the Rings. I had to get that in there.
Yeah. Is that the second time they've referenced that this season?
Yeah.
When he first showed up, they did the Lord of the Rings thing, didn't they? I think as well, Anatar.
But I just find it amazing that this is meant to be, you know, the season's been leading up to this, you know, building up their relationship. And this is the conclusion. It's been awful, hasn't it, their relationship? I mean, look at that for a face. That's, give him the Oscar.
That should have been the thumbnail.
Just look, here you go. He's angry, boom. And he says at one point, Sauron says to Celebrimbor that, you know, I can make your suffering last. I think he said like you can keep him alive.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't he?
Yeah.
At this point, why does he kill him? He does it out of anger,
him, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, he just gives into it so easily. I can't remember when he stabs Celebrimbor there. Does Celebrimbor like shout or exclaim as he's like hoisted up into the air?
Ooh.
I actually can't remember. Does he go like, ah, like does he do all that sting when he gets stabbed?
I'm not sure actually. It didn't come to my mind, so I don't think he did.
No, I'm just wondering if he took on board Christopher Lee's acting from Return of the King. Like, do you know what sound a man makes when he is stabbed? Well, because I do. It's a as the air is driven out of your body.
Right, I'll try and see if he does. No, he doesn't actually.
Oh, okay.
No.
Fair enough. Maybe he took note.
It's the only thing they're making bloody notes on.
I know. Well, they do make mention of the fall of Gondolin, so I'm like,
Yes.
oh, okay, so someone in the writer's room has at least heard of some of the greater lore. It's a shame they don't have that same admiration for the rest of the show. And then Celebrimbor says, the rings of power will destroy you. One alone shall prove your utter ruin. I'm like, yeah, did you see the movies as well? Did you read the books? They were really good, weren't they? And then he says, Sauron. And I'm like, say it, Lord. I'm like, say it of the rings. I'm like, there we go. And yeah, Celebrimbor dies. And then, yeah, Sauron starts fucking crying. And then the orcs come in. And he's like, what is your name, Uruk? And I think it's Family Man orc, isn't it? I think it's kind of like been the semi, like, I was going to say, like the most popular orc character, I guess, out of all of them.
What are they trying to portray with Sauron here? With him crying?
I know.
And he's like breaking as he's saying, I have many names. Like, what?
It's because we can change him. He's like the angsty anime boyfriend kind of character. That's what they're portraying him in this, especially with like him and the Galadriel stuff.
Yeah, but his actions prove otherwise.
Well, it's the orcs as well. Like, we were setting them up to be like this altruistic. We just want freedom. We don't want to be hunted anymore. We want our own place. We want to raise our families and whatnot. And then you have them tearing down statues and burning records and just murdering people and going like, like all the way through this episode. I'm like, what are we doing with the orcs?
I mean, just look at that opening scene with Eregion, with the siege, and you just think Adar just wants these orcs to have a home.
Yeah,
these are his children as they're attacking and killing people. It's like, what do you expect? You're showing something, and you want the message to be different.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work at all. I love this as well. From Brinsley here. Before Rings of Power aired, quote, I ain't gonna get angry, Chris, after each episode. I know, I tried. It didn't last long, did it? It really didn't. Brinsley says, has season 3 been greenlit yet? I don't believe it has. I think some of the cast have mentioned, oh, we'd like to come back for season 3. But I don't think it has officially been greenlit yet, has it?
I'll have a look, because Fellowship of the Fans, I'm sure you guys are aware, they love the show. So apparently they have got new writers on board for season 3. They've got a load of consulting writers. Griff Jones has been promoted to a writer, which is brilliant because he's the Tolkien expert. But apparently we'll get an announcement this month. But they say we are getting a season 3.
Sorry.
Let's hope that they learn their lessons.
I mean, part of me, you know, as long as they keep making it, we'll be here doing reviews on it. We ain't going anywhere. Would I like a bit of a reprieve from the Rings of Power? If they said tomorrow, yeah, we're cancelling the show, we're not going to do it, I'd be like, oh, thank fuck for that. But then also I'd be like, you know what, just let's keep it going. In for a penny, in for a pound at this point. 5 seasons, let's go. I'll be knocking on the doors of 40 years old. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Oh god. Anyway. Oh, and then we move to the most thrilling characters from this season. I don't know about you. Isildur and Theo. And honestly, my notes here are very negligible because I couldn't give less of a fuck about these characters. I really couldn't. And this is the guy that's meant to cut Sauron, like cut the ring off Sauron's hand. It's so accurate.
She goes with anyone.
Fucking hell, yeah, she does. These hoes aren't loyal. Christ. Yeah. Oh god. What about? Like, can we talk about the awkward Theo hug as well with Isildur?
Well, oh yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. The scene opens with Isildur reminiscing about getting hit in the leg.
Yeah.
like pulls out the knife and he's like, yeah, you know, I took one of a hell of a healer to fix this, you know, didn't lose any blood or anything, he's all good. And they start reminiscing. Are they trying to portray that Isildur's a father figure to Theo? Like, what?
Yeah, that's never been
we got this
at all. Yeah, never at any point.
Like, I swear they've had one scene where he led them to go and get Beric, was it? Or no, he was in prison at that point, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But apparently he's a daddy figure now. And not only Theo's daddy, because Estrid wants a bit, you know, she's on about saying, oh, she's got a lover, you know, that she's got to get back to. She's had one whiff of Isildur and she's like, right, you know, I've left him. I'm coming with you. I love you.
The epitome of masculinity that is Isildur.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they're in love. Despite the other episode, she threatened him at sword point. Like she was willing to. Well, she hit him. Like it was awful. But yeah, and that's going to be Isildur's wife.
The actress who plays Estrid is absolutely diabolical. She is awful. Like her line delivery, everything about it just felt so stilted. No chemistry between these actors at all. And the soundtrack's trying, you know, you get like the big swell of the strings as they embrace and they kiss. And I just have a note here that nothing is earned. Like these relationships, everything we see. I don't know if they were trying to do a relationship with Muriel and Elendil at one point, or if it's just more that he admired her. We're trying to do a relationship with Poppy and fucking Rufio. That went down like a lead balloon. And then you've got this one. And I think the show genuinely believes that they are forming these really powerful, deep, emotionally connected relationships between these characters. And they're just not. Like, what scenes of worth can you talk about Isildur and Estrid? Has Isildur been in like one episode of this show before this point? You had the whole thing with like the Ents and whatnot. That's all I can remember. Was the spider and the Ents. That's it.
I think it was. I swear it was only episode 3.
Yeah.
Because it concluded that they let everyone go and then she went off with her lover, apparently. And he went away and that was it. Like, there might have been others and I can't remember.
There most certainly were others, yeah.
Like, because if that's it, then Isildur's purpose for this season has literally been needs to get his horse.
Oh, Beric gets a name check. The horse gets a name check at one point.
So his story's been he's got his horse. He's fought Shelob, by the way. What else has he done? Got with Estrid. Brilliant. Well done. This is meant to be one of your biggest characters, by the way.
Yeah. Well, the last thing that we see is Kermit rocks up, doesn't he? And he denies Isildur entry. Oh, before this point as well, Theo says he enjoys being a low man. So just remember that. And then Kemen takes ownership of Pelargir, and he demands that Timber and the villagers provide almost tribute to Ar-Pharazôn to assemble his armada. And that's it. Those are all the notes that I have. There were probably some other stuff that happened here, but honestly, I couldn't give less of a fuck. Every time that Isildur, Estrid, Theo, God, I forgot his. See, 2 seasons in, I almost forgot his name there. Theo. Every time they're on screen, just sucks the life out of it for me. Now, I thought they were writing out Theo at this point. I thought we got rid of the mom. Like she was fine at the end of season 1, and then apparently she wasn't, and she died. When he like packed up and said, "No, I enjoy being a low man. I'm going," and he awkwardly hugged Isildur. I thought, right, we're getting rid of Theo out of the show now, so we ain't got to worry about him for season 3. But it looks like we're keeping him around.
He's going to be a ring wraith, 100%.
That's your prediction, isn't it? He's going to be a ring wraith. Well, there is an extra spot open up now. Just saying.
Yes, and he is a lord, apparently. I love during this scene how they are all bigging up Bronwyn.
Yes,
so it's like because Theo says, "I'm Theo, son of Bronwyn," and then Estrid's husband or whoever then goes, "This is Theo. His mother was Bronwyn." Like, okay. Like, and like I say, you got Kemin, and he's just awful, man. What presence has he got? I mean, I completely forgot that he's got a relationship with Isildur, apparently, because they hug each other. They're happy to see each other. Well, he's not happy, but Isildur is. And then, so there's already a settlement here, and they're going to be bringing people over to establish it and firm it up for a watchtower. And so Isildur wants room on the ship for him and Estrid. The boyfriend's like, no, you ain't going anywhere. And then, does he get arrested at the end?
You're asking the wrong person here. I did watch the show. I promise I watched it. I've already forgotten. I don't know. I remember him being there, and then I just remember the next shot. She was kissing Isildur, and he was like, come away with me. And she was like, all right, then. And that was it.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, actually. Oh, yeah, they've got no supplies for the people there. So they've literally come with nothing.
It reminds me of Bug's Life, you know, when the grasshoppers are like, we want you to pay tribute to us and get all this food ready for us for next year.
Yeah. Like,
now, I ain't saying that our Farazan's Kevin Spacey or anything, but, you know.
No. And, you know, what a coincidence. Kemin's here. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, again, timelines. When's this taking place? Don't know. You know, seems though all of the Numenorian fleet was fucking fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just there apparently. And so yeah, Theo's the Lord.
God help us all.
That's his story. He just got given it, and yeah, Isildur's not happy. Brilliant. Do you think that's it for Isildur in terms of being in Numenor? Now, do you think that's it? It'll be reuniting with Elendil in Middle Earth now.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, because what's the point of him going to Numenor now? Yeah, I think we're just going to keep him in Middle Earth.
And what's this? Actually, they've bigged up this with Theo, like who his dad is, and they fucking not mentioned it at the end. Like, is that going to be another plot point for the next season?
Be another obvious plot point, won't it? It'll be Arondir. Of course, it will. Do you think they're going to do that?
But Arondir died in the last episode.
Oh, he's fine now.
Just look at all the clips on YouTube. It says Adar kills Arondir. Well, we soon find out. Actually, they ruined it in the trailer, you know, for this episode.
Oh, did they? Did they do like a Gandalf the White thing in the trailer?
Yes. Brilliant, man.
God. Well, speaking of that, we cut over to Eregion again, as they keep calling it in the show. And the orcs bring Galadriel before Adar, and he's wearing Nenya, and he looks like a normal elf. And he goes on about his past. And I had a name once, an unimportant name. There was a fraction of a second. You're a fucking genius with these pictures, mate. And there was a fraction of a second where he kind of looked like, you know, normal, handsome elf. And Galadriel kind of looks at him a little bit like, ooh. And I thought, is he actually... He says, like, I had a name once, and I was going to be like, don't say Celeborn, for the love of fuck. Please don't say Celeborn. I thought they were maybe going to do a thing just for a fraction of a second, knowing what this show's like. But yeah, this was our prediction. We thought they were going to like bookend the show with his assassination with the orcs, and they do. The orcs have now found a new alpha in the form of Sauron, and yeah, we recreate the scene from the opening. It's like poetry; it rhymes. Look at that.
It's brilliant, isn't
well,
it?
At least the orc didn't miss his mark this time, like that one did in the last episode. So
I just love how Adar's healed straight away, to be fair. Like, does that mean if like Galadriel just starts punching orcs, like, do they get healed all of a sudden?
This is what I was going to say. Could he just like put the ring back on and be like, oh, I'm still alive, I'm healing myself, I'm fine?
Why does he give it back?
Yeah, it's like, Galadriel, chuck me that ring again, please. I just need it for a second.
And the thing is, what is his actual plan? Because when he takes it off, he goes back to normal.
Yeah, exactly.
So they can only heal him for a little bit, and then he's back. But yeah, they get the poetry because he gets his just rewards, doesn't he? That's Adar, and you're meant to feel sorry for him. But look what he's done to look what he's done to Eregion.
Well, actually, you mentioned about the healing thing. Now I'm thinking back to that. Yeah, so that elf that, God, it is totally the Ray Skywalker thing, isn't it? You're absolutely right when you drop me that text. It's exactly the same thing. And what a quality product to draw inspiration from. You're going to go to the fucking Rise of Skywalker. But they heal that elf up earlier on in the series. Does he take like an arrow to the gut or something, and they pull the arrow out and she uses the ring and it heals him? Now in this, Adar wears the ring here, and it turns him back to his original form, I guess. And as soon as he takes the ring off, all of those effects of the ring are instantly negated, and he's back to normal. So if she healed that elf, wouldn't he just go back to normal again, and he'd get the wound in his stomach again? It would just regress back to how it was before. Or the bit where Galadriel hits terminal velocity off falling off a cliff and splatters into a bloody pulp on the floor. As soon as they're done, like with the whole healing process, she'd just be back to normal again, unless she's wearing the ring constantly. I don't know how this healing thing works. It's all over the place.
It is, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's bruised up. Why ain't she healed?
Yeah.
She's got a bruised up cheek. She's got the ring. But yeah, it's just poor, and you get the reveal that Sauron was there.
Oh, where? Just that shot there, sorry, of Galadriel. She looks so shocked when he got stabbed, doesn't she? Just stands there, look. She's complicit in all this. She just, hang on, when it cycles back round and it cuts to, look at Galadriel's expression. Or even that, like, here we go. Give Morford Clark the Oscar. Here we go.
Oh, wow. Look, she's just standing there. It's fucking musical statues. What are you doing? Get involved.
Yeah.
And where's her weapon gone, actually? Did she have to give it away? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have let her go armed. So,
well, she's sword fighting Sauron in a second, so I actually can't remember.
Actually, yeah. How does she get a weapon? Does she pick up one of the others?
Yeah, I actually... Does she pick up Adar's? I can't remember. Maybe someone in the comments can help us. Like, can you remember what happens in this scene? How does she get the sword? Oh Christ, we got a lot of comments. Guys, keep the comments coming in. I appreciate all of you, I really do. But we've got a lot to get through. But I will try and get back to some of the comments because it looks like we've got some new faces, which is great. The sword fight, the sword fight. I say sword fight. It's sword and crown fight. Apparently, you have the floor, man. Take it away. Sauron v Galadriel.
I'll just pull it off.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes, we had what we all wanted and we all knew by the trailer. So that surprise was fucking ruined straight away. We have Sauron fighting Galadriel. My first question is, why isn't Sauron mind controlling Galadriel to kill herself? Straight off the bat, you see him have influence over the elves in the last episode. He's had influence over Galadriel previously. Why doesn't he do it?
Well, because he doesn't want to kill her. He's playing cat and mouse with her at this point. He would have made her his queen. And what does he say? Like, he would have killed anyone that tries to come... God almighty, look at this choreography. It's the fucking cringiest shit I've ever seen.
The thing is, you show him to be so powerful, yet you nuke his powers every time that he's... Like, with Galadriel, like...
Look at this.
Look, he's got a hand free, just... He wants the ring. Why does he care so much about Galadriel?
This is so awful. Like, this was pain. This was for me, this and the eventual resurrection was the worst thing in this whole episode. And I knew it was going to be cringe from when we saw the trailer, but just the acting, the line delivery, the stilted choreography, the way it's shot, everything just looks awful. Everything about this is wrong and terrible. And if I was to sum up everything that is wrong and terrible and awful and evil about the Rings of Power, it would be all concentrated into this scene right here. This is pure, like, I can change him. He's the angsty anime character. All of this. Actually, you know what? Even comparing this to anime does a disservice to anime, because there's some great fucking anime out here. But this is so, like, what did you call it? Like Twilighty kind of stuff, like teeny fan fiction kind of stuff. This is what the showrunners think we want. They think this is peak fire, bro. This is Tolkien.
Honestly, it's Tolkien the piss. This is, because honestly,
nice. Good.
The thing is, what are you gaining from this scene? You both know that they're both going to be okay. So what do you gain?
Yeah.
And the fact that she does a spin at one point. Why is she spinning?
Like, well, it's like that one elf from the crowd shot in the last episode does the pointless spin.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, we got 45 Westwood says they did Sauron so bad. Yeah, he is a fucking Maya.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
But this whole fight scene, and I've not got any of the other clips because it goes on for fucking ages. Yeah, this fight scene does. Yeah. But the whole point of the fight scene is that Sauron's trying to still convince her and say that I would have had you as my queen. You would have wore a crown. Like, are we really going along this storyline that he did actually really love Galadriel?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this meant to be him manipulating?
I don't know. I think it's that he loves her. Like Bath Time says here, like I think what they're trying to do here is show Sauron should win. He's in control, but he can't control his emotions, and that's what causes him to lose. We kind of see that with the scene that we just talked about with Celebrimbor, where he starts crying. Sauron starts crying. I can't get over that. I'm sorry. And this whole scene is that exemplified as far as I'm concerned. But it's just so basic. Like, why? She's an elf and he's Sauron. Everything below his power level is completely beneath him. He would not give her the fucking time of day. I don't care if she's like the most beautiful elfin lady ever. Like, he wouldn't give a shit. The only example maybe to the contrary of that, and even then, like, Morgoth saw her as completely beneath him. Of course he would. But he was mildly turned on by Luthien when she walked in, and he was kind of enchanted by her song and her spell. But that was more sort of like the magical abilities from her, I would say, rather than this, I can change him. You're just a big meanie and I'm gonna, there's good in you kind of thing. And what is Galadriel's plan here? Does she, if he changed his ways and said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make these rings, I'm going to be good now, would she be down for boning Anatar? Would she be down for fucking Sauron? Is that what we're doing right now?
The thing is as well, is that she's got the, it's just, I just hate this because you get nothing and what you're shown is shit. It's not even good. Like, the choreography is not good at all. And it gets worse. It just goes on and on and on, and then we have an Elrond scene in between, but
yeah, we do. We'll talk about that in a second.
It's like he's fighting with Morgoth's crown.
Yeah,
brilliant, amazing. And what is his plan, right? So his goal for this scene, he wants the Elven ring.
Yeah.
Why is he keeping her alive?
Yeah, cut her hand off, done. Reclaim it. Kill
What's
her.
the point?
Yeah, it's because he loves her. That's the thing. Like, he actually secretly really admires her and loves her. And I think we do see that at the end as well, where she throws herself off the cliff when they try and totally do the Empire Strikes Back moment and rip it off completely. But I'm just looking at this. This is $1 billion. I know I keep saying this, but look at how this is filmed. Look how flat the angles are. Cinematography is absolutely shite. Fan films do better fights than this. The acting is cringe. The way that Morphy Clark is abysmal in this. Just like the fucking facial... Look at this shit. The facial expression she keeps pulling all throughout this fight. The really cringy fucking back and forth dialogue they have. I should have taken some notes on some of the stuff they actually say, but it's just the most turgid shit I've ever heard. But yeah, you mentioned like the Elrond and Gil-galad scene. So they're kind of brought forth to the city by the orcs. and the orcs burn the entire collective works of Celebrimbor. And doesn't Gil-galad say, like, Celebrimbor is the most celebrated smith in all of Middle-earth, and all of his teachings are worth more than gold, or whatever he says. I'm like, what? This is the fucking master smith who didn't know what an alloy was until the end of season 1. What fucking great works has he written?
Well,
yeah.
Elrond has a quote that says, "Take our lives, but leave it be, I beg you." Like, who are they leaving it to?
Yeah.
They've sacked the city. Like, who are they giving it to?
Yeah.
Awful, man. And Elrond's here, apparently. Like, so just think, the last time we saw Elrond was with Adar on the battlefield, and he just walked away. Like, he's got no fight in him, didn't try to get the ring, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Gil-galad's here, if you didn't know. Main character, but hey ho.
Yes. He does get like a really hilarious line later on, which made me laugh, like line delivery when the dwarves show up. Saving
dwarves.
That. Dwarves, yeah.
Fucking hell.
That perked me up when that bit happened. I was like, that was funny.
And that's my positive.
Yeah. And then it cut back to this shower of shit that we're looking at right here. Yeah, and I've put like Bear McCreary as well. Absolute letdown of a soundtrack. Like, maybe if I listened to the soundtrack in isolation, I'd go, oh, okay, maybe some of the songs are nice. There's a couple of light motifs in there, like you've kind of got Sauron's motif that's becoming a bit more prominent in my mind now. You've got the Khazad-dum kind of call to arms kind of stuff. The rest of it's just really forgettable, completely terrible, and half the time doesn't even mash with what you're watching on screen. But the music in this scene, especially during the sword fight, is trying so hard to be epic. And that's where it kind of flips around. It's like the whole parody thing we were talking about earlier, where it kind of becomes funny, because you can tell that the showrunners are so proud of this and think this is they think this is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin right here, Battle of Heroes. They think this is some like biblical epic shit. And the music's like ramping up, and it's like, oh, it's epic, it's epic. Do you think it's epic? And it just adds to the hilarity of how incompetent it is, I think, because it's so try hard.
Yeah,
and like the smack talk between the two is abysmal. Yeah.
One positive is that Waldrig did better against Sauron than Galadriel did with no weapon.
It's so true. Yeah.
Lord Waldrig.
Oh, we need to get him on the show, man. We have to.
I'm going to try my best. We need him.
Make it our life's mission to get him on the show. Hey, you know, Nerd of the Rings is getting interviews with Viggo Mortensen and you know, whoever else. We don't ask for much, okay? We're both very humble. All we want is an interview with Waldrig. That's all we want. Just the one thing.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
We'll get
I've got a quote here. So after the Elrond bit, we return back to them fighting, and it's when they're both locked in Morgoth's crown, and Sauron says, "Galadriel, surely you of all elves must understand." Let's have a look. Must understand that that to find the light, we must first touch the darkness.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like chucking shit quotes from the first season. It's like brilliant. And she's like upset by that. She's like confused. And you can see her trying to hold off against Sauron. Like they're really struggling. And you think he should be she shouldn't even be alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And you think, how is she putting up with this? Awful, man.
I'm sure she'd love to touch the darkness, actually, judging by how they're acting with each other. But it's just the back and forth. It's just, I was almost expecting them to go into, it's like, Sauron, the rings are evil. From my point of view, the elves are evil. Like, you know, just.
It's like Galadriel's retort to that was, we are not alike. We never were. Why do they keep associating them together, saying like, oh, we weren't like this? It's like a breakup.
Well, because
I think that's what it is.
100% is a comment from Taralinian here that has a direct quote from Entertainment Weekly saying it was really important that we felt the tension, the provocations, and how destabilized she felt because she I can't talk, and how destabilized she felt because she was very much in love with Halbrand. Brandstrom, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, probably not. I mean, there was almost like a love story. He really seduced her. And yeah, that's from Entertainment Weekly. So it's right there from the horse's mouth, really. That's precisely what it is. And that's what they're setting up.
Yeah. And we have another great quote. So this is happening all during them being locked up. So she says that it was just another one of his illusions. And he looks angry. And then he goes, not all of it. And then she gets angry. And then she sweet chin musics him. Like she drop kicks him and he goes flying.
She kicks the shit out of him, doesn't she? That's my note. I put Galadriel kicks the shit out of Anatar.
And she drops down and then he returns as Halbrand. But the way that he looks like Arthur Fleck from the Joker. Like, what is this? Is he going to break out in musical? Like, what's going on?
The thing that gets me, though, as well is, and I know we've mentioned this and the whole wig thing's been mentioned already, but he changes to Halbrand almost like this is going to be a moment where she downs tools and goes, oh my God, this is the man I love. He has the same fucking face between Halbrand and Anatar. It's just the hair that's different. That's the only thing. And she like acts really shocked, like, oh my God, Halbrand, I've seen him again. I'm like, it's the same face.
Just think, this stops her from attacking him.
Yeah.
They're both staring at each other for ages. Mm-hmm. And it's because she saw Halbrand, the person who she fell in love with.
Yeah. And then he changes into the only other person that Galadriel loves more than anything else. Herself changes to Galadriel. I thought, of course he can fucking change to Galadriel. You know, welcome to 2024. So now there's going to be articles like, oh my God, it was so progressive. And, you know, Sauron is gender fluid and, you know, all this shit. Like, yeah, it's all going to be that. And then he changes. Celebrimbor gets one last hurrah. And he changes into Celebrimbor, doesn't he, right before the
end? Why Celebrimbor?
I know.
And, you get a brilliant quote. So when he's Halbrand, he says, fighting at your side, I felt if I could just hold on to that feeling. And then it just cuts. Like, it doesn't say anything else after that. Like, what?
What was the whole back and forth where they're like, the door is open. No, the door is shut or something. I was like, oh God, are we doing the way is shut kind of thing? I don't know. I just put, how is Sauron struggling in this fight? Like, is he pulling his punches? Like we've talked about that already, that he's deep down seriously got feelings for Galadriel, but even that, just to entertain that in terms of a lore perspective is utterly preposterous that would even enter his mind. But this is Sauron. This is the same Sauron. If this is tying into the movies, which it can't do anyway, but it seems to think it can. This is the same Sauron that we see like fucking one-handing a mace and just like smacking people through the air in the prologue during the Last Alliance. And he can't even take on Galadriel, who's like, what, like an 80-pound, 5'0" elven girl? Like, okay.
Brilliant. And again, he's seen that he can fuck with her mind. Why isn't he killing her, essentially? Why isn't he forcing her to off herself?
He can create illusions. He can possess people. He can get people to kill others. He can force throw people like Medania off the wall in the other episode.
Oh, God.
All of these powers, and he's not using them.
Yep. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. So right after this, I've just got a note saying that Galadriel stabbed, and Sauron kind of confesses his love for Galadriel during the scene. I guess that's probably the bit where he said, like, I would have set you up as a queen, or whatever he said. I would have gone to the ends of the earth, or whatever he says. And then did you clock this as well? Like, Morfydd Clark, like, does this, like, strained... There he is. There's the man. Morfydd Clark does this, like, strained voice. And it sounded like really nasally and like really high pitched. I can't describe it. I'm going to have to watch the episode again. But her voice like completely changed. Did you notice that at all? Where she was getting like riled up or she was injured?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, now we're talking. you know, you're really getting into the acting. But
And then, yeah.
Is this after? I'll just pull up the scene. I'm not sure if this comes after.
Yeah, this is right. Yeah, here's the moment. Yeah, so she's been stabbed with the crowd. Yeah, this is the Empire Strikes Back moment.
Look how far she falls, man.
Yeah.
I've got it on
Yeah,
the
I know.
screen.
When it cuts, so that alone there, but then it
Right.
cuts to the wide shot of the elves looking up, and it looks like Denethor falling off Minas Tirith. She's a speck hitting terminal velocity, and then she would be pulp on the ground. But
And
yeah,
you're telling me the ring stopped that?
yeah. Right around this point, this is where I clocked your earlier comments, and I put, "Please tell me the ring isn't going to heal her." But yeah, join me, and together we can rule Middle Earth as lovers, I guess. I'll never join you. And then, yeah.
Do you know what I love, actually? We've completely neglected the fact that Arendir survived.
He's still there. Yeah, it's fine.
That is the least worst thing about the show, this episode.
Did she use the ring on him to heal him? Because he's fine.
Yeah, look at him. He's fighting fit.
That wide shot there, man, is insane how far she falls.
And she doesn't break any bones.
No. When we cut to her body, it looks like, has she been impaled a little bit? It looks like the slightest blemish on the side of her, I swear to God.
Well, yeah, so what if Sauron grabbed it there? Why are you pissing around just to get the last word? If you're gonna jump.
Yeah.
And look, he's happy. Like, what's
he
the
can
point
use
in
the
that?
Force. I guess this is, some people have used this as a criticism in hindsight of Empire Strikes Back with Vader being able to use the Force. Why couldn't he just, if he really wants her and wants to save her, he had the power to throw Mardania off a wall last time and can manipulate people and control people, basically like the Force. Why couldn't he just go, oh, no, you're not falling off the cliff, come back here, and lift her back up?
Like, honestly, I don't know what the point is.
This is the series low point for me. This whole scenario right here. This.
The thing is, they say that this is set up. You know that the ring can heal because you've seen it earlier on, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Brinsley said she landed in the tree first. Still don't know how she survived the fall, though. I don't. Yeah, even if she hit the tree, look how far she has to fall before she hits that tree. Look at this shit. Right from the cliff top. Back there, you'd be dead.
Honestly,
I know the magical healing abilities of the elves is, the best medicine in Middle Earth, but Christ Almighty, there's got to be a limit, and the limit is falling off a goddamn cliff. Doesn't Sauron also say, like, the rings are mine? And I thought, oh, we're doing like a Frodo thing, like the ring is mine.
Also, actually, by the way, she gets stabbed by the Crown's Morgul.
Yes, yeah.
And sends her into the Wraith world. So she needs healing. But we have a scene before that. I mean, is this finally done now? Between the sexual tension between Galadriel and Sauron? Is this it?
No, it's only just begun. We're going to keep doing that shit. There will be a moment at the last... Galadriel will be in attendance at the Last Alliance in the show. If it makes it through to 5 seasons, that's going to happen, and she'll have like another little moment with Sauron right before Isildur cuts the ring off.
Oh, she has to be in the battle, surely. But I think the theory is that she'll be pregnant during that battle and she can't fight.
Brinsley says, I mean, Gandalf survived the drop in Moria too, if we're going to get nitpicky. Okay, first and foremost, he's a Maiar, and Galadriel is just but a humble elf. A very powerful elf, granted, but still an elf. Also, the fall in the book probably isn't as far as it's depicted in the movie. The dwarves were definitely tunneling too greedily and too deep in the movie because they're falling for a hot minute. But I think they land in the water, don't they? The Balrog turns into slime, and that battle actually goes on for 10 days. So anyone talking shit about Gandalf, he fights the Balrog for 10 days. All the way up to the top of Zigil. And technically, if we're going to split hairs, Gandalf does die at the end of that. So maybe not from the fall, I grant you, but yeah. God. Yeah, then we have the Gil-galad line, dwarves. And he does like this weird expression when he says it, which was great. And then the dwarf rocks up and the armor looks so bad. And I know we've seen this armor before. I think we saw like Prince Durin's kids like rolling about with these like massive fucking heads, like the helmets they have on. But the armor looked so cheap. It looked really, really, it just like made of plastic or something, him just like rocking up. And
what's the practicality of them?
Yeah, I know.
How are you turning in them?
Anon says Halloween shop armor. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It really did.
And yes, they're there.
Rocks up in like the worst armor ever. just started laughing.
Yeah, I mean, this is where timelines get really muddy because Elrond sent for the dwarves. Was it the last episode or the episode before? And then they said no, they're not coming, and then they're here now.
Well, Elrond teleported about 3 different times in the last episode between places.
And the thing is, how did the orcs not notice a load of dwarves coming into the city? Like, how?
Because we cut to Na'vi earlier. That was Na'vi in the armor, right? That we saw. I think it was at least. We saw like Na'vi earlier on where the whole Balrog thing was happening, and I can't remember if he's with Disa and Prince Durin later on where they're talking about the rings and sorting everything out in Khazad-dum. I can't remember if he's there as well, but yeah, he's there. He's here. He's all over the place apparently, as is every character. They're there when the plot needs them to be. Like, there's no thought of like world building or traveling or anything. And then Galadriel just gets magically resurrected with the power of the bullshit rings. And I lost my shit at this point. It is totally the Rey Skywalker moment from the end of that movie. They set it up even in a very similar way to how that's set up in that movie as well. How they have that random serpent that shows up that's got the wound on it and she heals it. You also have the Kylo Ren moment later on in that movie, and then they just they take it to a ridiculous degree later on, don't they, at the end of that film? And they do the same here, and I'm just this is ridiculous. We both predicted it though, didn't we? When that happened earlier on in the series, we were like, right, someone's probably going to get resurrected. But the way she's dressed as well, and I know she's the Lady of Light and she's dressed in white, I get it, but just the imagery and everything, I was like, she is literally like Christ. She is like Jesus at this point now. Resurrected. And you even have like the kind of Prince of Egypt moment at the very end where all 3 of them are stood on the rock, on the ledge, like overlooking everyone. It looks like Moses coming down with the 10 Commandments or something. It's very biblical how they're trying to portray all this, I feel.
Yeah. I don't know. Was it Elrond who healed her?
I feel like it was a collective effort, wasn't it? Gil-galad starts to chant, I think, and it's almost like the whole what was it? It reminded me of Tariel actually from The Hobbit, but like the Arwen thing of like the healing and everything. Well, they recreate the Rivendell scene when she wakes up, and it's it fades in from white, and she kind of wakes up. And it's like you're in the House of Elrond, kind of thing. Yeah.
Like I say, Arondir's there.
He's also there.
He's all right. But yeah, because they're trying to draw the poison out of her wound, and Elrond picks up the ring, and I think it's to symbolize, he's done. That's his arc. He doesn't trust the rings, and then now his final moment is using the ring to heal. So Galadriel was right to keep the rings. I still think it's baffling. Elrond still had the fairest argument. And yeah, she's healed.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So it means we get at least 3 more series of Morfydd Clark. Aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky viewers?
But how do you get? Because I'm guessing they've got to make her more humble now.
Well, they said that this series was meant to do that, didn't they? I think they said.
Yeah. Are they gonna say like she's injured now, and that because of that injury she can't fight now? She can't go on that level that she used to. I don't know, but she's got to just think right. Actually, Celeborn's got to be introduced into this somewhere. I don't know where, but
Celebrian, yeah. Someone needs to talk about Elrond smooching his mother-in-law as well, because that hasn't come up. No one's mentioned that, and that's like a big thing that should be mentioned. I don't know, man. Like at the end when you have like I don't know. To me, they should have killed Arondir off, because like that final shot, it's like the power of the three rings is exemplified on that cliff top, looking over at all the elven peoples, and you have like the three elven rings of power with the three bearers, and then also Arondir's there doing sweet fuck all as he always does, because he's just a nothing character. And I just thought, if you're going for that kind of shot, like maybe that shot would have kind of been cool from like a symbolism kind of side of things, had you just had like the three elven bearers on top of the cliff top up there. But also Círdan, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Círdan the shipwright. What did he get up to this season? Remember when they introduced him and did nothing with him?
Yeah, he was brilliant. What did he? So he tried to dispose of the rings, and then he had a shave.
Yes,
brilliant. And they quoted this as him being the Gandalf of the season.
Oh, they did. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Where is he?
Not the actual Gandalf of the season, because they, yeah.
Oh, we get Gandalf's reveal.
Yeah, let's move on to it. So we're back to the halflings in the stores. Hang in there, guys. We're almost there. We're the last couple of scenes now. Halflings in the stores, and oh god, in another attempt to recreate the Peter Jackson films, we have Poppy trying so desperately hard to do the whole Samwise voiceover thing over the final kind of like tie-up of the movie, all the different montages of everything happening. As a side note, why do the halflings have to have so much makeup? Have you noticed like that there was a close-up shot in this episode, and maybe even I noticed this in the last episode too, that the halflings were in? But Poppy and Nori look really heavily made up this series. Like full on mascara and eyelashes and like loads of foundation. Did you notice that, or was that just me?
Poppy looks like she's full on done. The makeup's done. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like the faces look pretty clean and pristine. I mean, look fucking Harvey over here. Fucking Poppy and Harvey, they're together. Remember that? Do you remember that they're a couple?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But what the Harfoot storyline been?
That's probably the best question of the whole series.
They're gonna find a home. Oh, they've
left. Yeah, well, they leave.
Yeah,
they leave with the stores, don't they? So, do you think season 3? See, I thought this was them writing out, or at least giving themselves an out if they don't want to bring Poppy and Nori back. But you did mention about that whole prophecy with the Shire thing. If they do bring them back, do you think it's going to be the stores making a pilgrimage to the Shire, and we get the Shire in season 3?
100%. They're going to be in it. I didn't think they'll be in. I didn't think Poppy would be in this season.
No.
You know, but she was, so they're definitely going to be in it. And we're going to be seeing the origins of the Shire. And like, say, you have this speech and you meant to... I mean, do you remember the feelings that you got when you heard Sam's speech, you know?
Mm.
They're trying to do that with this, but it just doesn't work because you don't care, really. Like, wow.
Well, Kahina mentions that I never liked that Sam thing, largely invented. I remember watching the behind the scenes, and I think they mentioned when they wrote it, they were very aware of the fact that this could go down like a lead balloon. Like, this could be very hokey if it's not handled right. It could be a bit sort of like saccharine sweet and a bit cringy kind of thing. I can't remember the exact words they say. But when they heard Sean Astin's delivery, they were like, yeah, this is right. this works, and that whole there is some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And what I love most about that, they talk about this in the editing as well, because I think they messed around with like placements of scenes. Gollum's reaction right after that, like that speech really gets to him as well. And we as the audience are aware of that shot placement and the power of editing and cutting to Gollum's reaction after that. I think it's really necessary, and I know that they had to sort of move things around with the Two Towers in order for it to be that middle chapter. But I don't know. I for me, the ending voiceover really does work at the end of that and really helps to tie everything up. I love how it like melds into Bernard Hill, like victory, we have victory. I love it. I love it so much. So no, I disagree with you there. I really like that Sam speech. I don't like the knockoff Sam speech in this, because it's like, yeah, you come to the end of it, it's like, well, what have we achieved? What have we done?
Yeah.
We cut to the dwarves throwing a funeral for King Doran. I'm there like, hello, there's a fucking Balrog in like the next room. What are you gonna do? You haven't got time to be throwing a funeral. You need to get the fuck out and evacuate and reconvene. What are we doing? It's business as usual.
You have a major problem. You got a Balrog. How are you going to deal with that? They don't mention it again, and we talk about how there's some dwarven lords that want payment and want to be the lords and king Khazad-dum. So yeah, brilliant. They need to address it. They need to move everyone as close to the top as possible, because it's an issue, and this is why when you come up with this stuff, this contrived stuff, and you just chuck it out there because it looks good and pretty, you get these plot holes. So they need to address it. Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. Let's see. And then we just get a shot of Elendil riding off as well on a horse. So he's off on his merry way. There's probably a few other shots that it cuts to, but I was so checked out of this and just really kind of pissed off that they were doing the whole Sam thing, that those were the only ones that I wrote. But there is a great quote here. And I think this might be Poppy who says this during the speech. And to me, sums up the whole show. Sums up the entire Rings of Power and what it may continue to go on to be. What's broke is broke and won't fix. I'm like, yeah, that's the Rings of Power. There is no turning this ship around. If a new showrunner came in next time, I don't care. This is the foundation. 2 seasons. It's fucked. The whole operation is kaput. What's broke is broke and won't fix. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to take a note of that one, because that's how I feel about things.
We do. I was just having a look at a couple of the shots, actually. We do get one of Theo. And Isildur is on the boat, so he does go back to Numenor, it looks like, because it pans down to Estrid and her lover, and he grabs her hand and she like doesn't really grab it back. So yeah, that's going to be the storyline for Isildur next season.
Get the popcorn ready. Can't wait for that one. Let's get it going. Right after this, we got Grandelf, which we've kind of already given our opinions on, but the whole scenario of this naming thing of Gandalf and the fact that they've been a 2-season journey to give a character we already knew which character it was, his staff and his name, a staff that he didn't even need, and a name that we knew from his entrance in episode 1.
Yeah.
It's
just a waste, man. Just a waste. Like, literally, what has he done?
Yeah,
what's been the purpose, man? We already knew this information. It should have been done episode 1. You do it then. Don't drag it out. And like the comment said earlier on, is he going after his hat the next season? Like his pipe?
No. Hat in season 4, season 3, pipe in season 4, and then I don't know what else.
Just what are they going to do with him next season if he's going to be in it? Because he ends with Tom Bombadil singing. Oh, wow, brilliant.
And he finds his staff in the rubble as well. Like, it's just there. Just perfectly lying on the floor. I mentioned earlier, like, there's no design. It's just sleek white, looks like it's made of plastic, no detailing on her, and it doesn't even look like it's made of wood, to be honest. It's just, yeah, it's really bad. And they've just gone with the design of what it looked like in the Lord of the Rings, with like the twisty wood branches. I mean, Gandalf has, well, he has the staff in the Hobbit, which is kind of like the flame that gets disintegrated in Desolation of Smaug if we're keeping it with movie continuity. Radagast gives him his one. The ends of the branches get broken, which is the one that we see in the Lord of the Rings Fellowship. That gets taken by Saruman, and then he gets another similar kind of looking one for like the latter part of that film. So they've just gone with, oh, he has that one in Lord of the Rings. Let's go with that one. I will say, here's a positive. I kind of want Tom Bombadil's hedgehog kettle. I thought that was kind of a cool looking kettle. I was like, I'd have that. I don't know where I'd put it. I wouldn't make tea with it, but it'd be like a nice little mantelpiece thing. Is it a Sebastian kettle?
Oh, do you reckon we'll get Radagast the next season?
I think
they're all just rocking up. The Blues will be in season 4. Ugh.
Can you imagine if we get through 5 seasons of this and the 2 most enigmatic wizards that we've never really had much information on don't get adapted at all?
It's Rings of Power. They won't be doing that.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Bilbo rocks up.
You know what I was going to say? I guarantee at the end of this is my prediction for like the end of season 5. We're going to get to like Belladonna Took or something, and she's going to give birth, and there's going to be like a little baby hobbit, and Nori's going to be there, and she's going to be like super fucking old because they're going to mess with the timelines, and she'll be like, "What are you going to name him?" And she'll go, Bilbo, or something, and then and then I'll fucking implode from cringe. That's my prediction. They're going to name drop Bilbo. That will happen.
Do you think? Oh, I am looking forward to season 3 just to see what they do. But God Almighty, season 2 took a lot out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It really took a lot. Oh, and yeah, apparently, was this Tom Bombadil's task for Gandalf? Because he said he passed it, and it's like,
yeah.
What, I don't even know this up?
I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Tom Bombadil this series. He's kind of like a shitty kind of Yoda character, I guess. But like, what's so important of him finding his name and a staff? Like, what did that achieve? What did that do? And then he's just talking in riddles the whole time, and he's just like, "Well, that's for you to decide now, isn't it?" And he's like, "I was meant to follow my friends. This was all a test, wasn't it, to prove that I didn't just seek power or whatever it was." Or
why is Tom so involved?
I know. What is Goldberry? Is Goldberry just like a? It feels like that. Oh, what was it fucking called? The James McAvoy movie Split. Is Goldberry actually like a personality of Tom Bombadil? Is it like Patricia or something? And this disembodied voice of Goldberry just flows out?
Yeah. I mean, will we be getting her reveal? You know, one of the female characters that you could use.
They did. I mean, yeah, exactly.
You've nicked Tom Bombadil, so you might as well use Goldberry, but no. Is that going to be the plot for the next season for Tom?
They're going to keep him around, aren't they? I was like, hey, I want some fatty lumpkin. I know it'd be like 1,000-year-old horse at this point, but I don't care. We got the Barrow Whites in. Why the fuck not? And then Gandalf says, "Gandalf, that's what they're going to call me." I was like, "Oh, you keep doing a thing, don't you? Great." And then let the song begin. And we get that wonderful rendition of old Jolly Tom's song, don't we?
How does he know the lyrics?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
He's just singing along fully. It's like, okay, right. Is he sung the song that many times to him that he's like, all right, then I'm just going to join in?
But the lyrics don't pertain to anything that's happening in this region or in this scene because they've completely changed it. You know, he's singing about like water lilies bringing and gold berries waiting or whatever. River woman's daughter. I'm like, what? Oh!
Do you know what I love as well? They just kind of forgot about the Dark Wizard.
Yeah, he's just staring from a window. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dark Wizard's just waiting for Gandalf to turn up. What the fuck, man? And it's going to be the plot point for the next season. I don't know if the Dark Wizard's going to go again after Gandalf.
He's going to be like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll get you next time, Gandalf. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. It's like, this is Scooby-Doo shit. Like, what?
We then cut back to the dwarves in Khazad-dum. Why are they still in Khazad-dum? There's a Balrog. Okay, fine. And then I think one of the dwarves said, like, oh, some dwarves have got problems or something. It's like, how can, like, Khazad-dum needs to send aid. I'm like, how can they fucking send aid? There is a Balrog in the other chamber that's still really pissed off and just killed your king. Why aren't we doing anything about that? Prince Durin's brother is mentioned, that he's kind of vying for the throne. There's kind of like a power vacuum now. Apparently words got out that the king's dead in record time to every single corner of the world, so all the dwarven lords know that there is no longer a king in Khazad-dum. And hearing about this power vacuum, Prince Durin takes one look, like pregnant pause, and looks at the rings, and yeah, he's probably going to go down the same path, which means after wearing it for like 5 minutes, he's going to be like, you know, cuckoo for Cocoa Pops by the end of it, like his father. So
again, that's probably going to be the plot point for the next season.
Yeah,
because what are they going to do with the dwarfs?
What are they going to do with the dwarves? Yeah, well, they've shot the bolt with the Balrog, so we've got like at least another 2 and a bit seasons to cover probably before we get to the Balrog again.
Yeah.
And then the final scene, yeah, Galadriel wakes up and it's ripping off more Lord of the Rings scenes with Frodo waking up in Rivendell. And Gil-galad says that Lindon will be the next target. And Galadriel stands upon a rock overlooking the people like Moses. And she's asked whether they should follow the way of the sword or the shield. Should they defend or should they take the attack to Sauron right now? And by the looks of it, all the elves start chanting, and it's really fucking cringy and awful. And they all hold aloft their swords, probably in retaliation of Sauron. And that's it. That's your season 2. What did you think to this whole ending then? Where do we think this is going into season 3?
Didn't they say that this is a place that only the elves can see?
They mentioned it's a safe haven, and I was thinking, right, this is going to be Rivendell then, probably, isn't it? Because right after the fall of Eregion, Elrond fortifies Rivendell, so it's kind of around this time now that they should be looking to do that, and it being a safe haven, it's kind of what Rivendell is, the last homely house east of the sea. So, yeah.
That'll be Elrond's plot point for the next season, and I think Galadriel's will be trying to find Celeborn.
Is it going to be like, Elrond, can you like help us in the fight? He's like, nah, I'm building this house.
Yeah, no. Really away. It reminds me of you know, in Monty Python with like the French soldier.
Yes.
He's just like saying, I spit on you. But yeah, it just, you get a cheesy shot at the end, and yeah, season 2.
Kahina, totally agree with you. Should have looked more alpine to me. Yeah, if that's meant to be in Ladris, they need to sort that shit out. Well, you know, they completely changed the look of Eregion between seasons, didn't they? So I'm sure they can add a couple of CGI mountains in there, and you know, teetering boulders that can fall down and dam a river if they need to. So it's all good. We can just change it in post.
You know, 50 million. You know.
Jesus Christ. Imagine what we could have done with a budget for this show, though, man. Like, we could have sold world hunger. We could have, like, I don't know, built homes for people. We could have made a difference in this world. Instead, it gave us Rings of Power season 2. But it brought us all closer together, didn't it? To the people at home who have watched us and been, you know, stalwart in leading the charge against season 2 and sharing your opinions, whether you liked Rings of Power, whether you didn't, and sharing in our collective pain together for the last, I was going to say 8 weeks. It wasn't 8 weeks, was it? Because they dumped 3 episodes out at once. But it has sort of like come and gone in the blink of an eye, really, hasn't it? Because of that, I think. So, yeah, be thankful for small mercies, I guess.
I just found it baffling that they dropped 3 episodes in one go, but I think that was to inflate the numbers. I think they expected a pretty big drop off, and I don't actually know the percentage of the drop off because in season 1 there was a 61% drop off.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting to see the drop off for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is done.
That's what I mean. Like, what are they making this show for? They clearly know the numbers. You know, they'll try and fudge them for articles and for the press and whatnot. And Rings of Power was the most streamed premiere of a TV show we've ever done, or whatever it is. But they've got to be looking at these numbers. Like, they're literally burning money. I know Amazon, it doesn't need the cash because really sort of like the Amazon shows that they make a second fiddle to everything else the company's got going on. So they don't really need this. And it almost feels like it's this like hateful, spiteful conquest they're on at the moment to just destroy Tolkien. So it wouldn't surprise me if season 3 gets greenlit. But also, I don't know if like legally they are locked into 5 seasons. I don't know if Amazon has the power to put the kibosh on that if they want to and be like, yeah, we kind of signed you up for 5 seasons, but you know, I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it further and just go, no, we're going to cancel it. Or if they have got to make good on their agreement with all the actors that have signed up for it, expecting a 5-season deal. So I'm not sure.
I will keep you posted when they confirm season 3. But they said that there will be an announcement, and I think production pre-production might be starting soon because they have to get it started fairly quickly because it's every 2 years, isn't it? So yeah. I mean, I'm in a predicament, to be honest, because it's like I don't want more Rings of Power, but I love watching it with you and doing reviews and seeing what they can fuck up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, if Waldrig comes back. But I think they'll go for the full 5. I mean, Wheel of Time is still going into it, and that's.
I haven't seen anything on that show. Like, I remember it coming out, and then since then, I thought it maybe had been cancelled because I haven't heard anything on it.
Yeah, I thought it would, but no, it's still going.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see what your favorite moments are of this season.
Yeah, oh god.
Would you say that this season, which season's the worst? Would you say season 1 or 2?
Oh my god. So one thing we didn't do was rewatch. Thankfully, we didn't rewatch season 1 before 2. So I'm going on my memories from like 2 years ago. I honestly think they're about on par. I'd probably maybe give the edge to this season a little bit more than season 1. But I think the worst things happened in this series compared to season 1. You had like the really dumb shit with like the pyroclastic flow and the whole stab, twist, gut stuff in season 1 and her jumping off a ship in the beginning to swim across an ocean. But honestly, all of those moments are kind of very similar to the stupid moments that happen in this season. You have the really cringeworthy Galadriel and Sauron fight, but honestly, they're kind of on the level for me. It's like asking me which do you think is the best of the sequel trilogy. I'm like, my answer's complicated because they're all about as bad as each other for different reasons. I'd probably give a slight edge to this season, maybe for like performances of like King Durin and Prince Durin and some funny Celebrimbor scenes. That's about it.
I would agree. I was so bored of season 1. Like,
yeah.
With this, I at least got invested. Like, there's some episodes that weren't boring. Like, I think it was episode 5. It wasn't a good episode, but I wasn't bored.
Yeah,
and it felt okay-ish. But this season got me more angry. I think they fucked with the lore a lot more in this season. And I think the problem is season 1 set up a load of problems and they didn't address them in this season. They kind of made it worse. So, yeah, I don't know. For entertainment-wise, I'd say season 2 was better.
Yeah.
For story and writing, season 1 was better, and that's not by much.
Yeah, it's a thin margin. Yeah, no, I would agree with that totally. It seems like a lot of other people in the comments are agreeing with us as well. First off, Keena says, well, you've gotten a new sub. That's great. Thank you very much for subscribing. Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to have like a bit of a clash at the beginning, I must admit, but I'm glad you stuck around, and thank you for sharing your opinions. Even if you don't necessarily agree with all our opinions, that's totally cool too. But thank you for subscribing, and we'll keep the streams coming. Brinsley says, I'd rather get 13 seasons of this just so we can keep the streams going. Well, fear not, like we're going to have a chat. I'm sure we've got plenty of other Lord of the Rings theme videos that we can do in between. Anon suggests maybe do some streams on the other Lord of the Rings versions. It's absolutely a possibility. Yes. Of course, in a couple of months' time, we're going to have the big War of the Rohirrim movie, so we'll probably get another trailer for that, and obviously when the film comes out, we'll have a review on that too. But we'll have some other stuff planned. Don't worry. Yeah, kind of echoing what we said. Kahina says, I utterly hated season 1. We at least got into the lore slightly this series. I agree. There's moments where you go, oh, that's kind of from the lore, but it is with that asterisk. It's with that caveat of, but it's, it's completely fumbled at the pass. It's not good. But at least they make mention of it, I suppose. I don't know.
I just love that Anon comment. Make a Waldrick only cut.
Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, can we make a Waldrick only cut of season 2? Because it'd just be so short.
Oh, that's it for me. Just show me Waldrick and that's it. But that was actually an interesting question that Anon had about that battle for Middle-earth.
Yes, let me just bring that up again.
I've not played it, but for some content that I want to do in the upcoming years, and that I do want to get the old games back. There was a Lord of the Rings game on Xbox, and I forgot the name. I think it's Conquest.
Conquest, yeah. It was like the Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront knockoff, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It was kind of fun to play. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I loved it. So I'm hoping to do that, and I would love to live stream some gaming with you, some Middle-earth gaming.
I've never really done live stream. I don't know what I'd need to get set up with live streaming of gaming. I've never done it before, but yeah, if you can talk to me like I'm an old man, which I am, when it comes to technology, I'm sure we can figure something out. But yeah, honestly, some of those older Lord of the Rings games were fucking fantastic. Like I really want to try the Hobbit game actually that came out. It was the same makers who did the Fellowship of the Ring game. It was kind of like cartoony, but it's actually pretty accurate to the book. Both accounts, the Fellowship of the Ring game and the Hobbit game. And then, of course, you had the Great Two Towers game and the pinnacle of Lord of the Rings gaming for me, the Return of the King video game, which I put countless hours into. The very underrated but very silly Third Age game as well. I enjoyed playing that, the turn-based RPG style. Yeah, there was looking back, there's some pretty good Lord of the Rings games. And then fairly recently, some fucking terrible ones with the Lord of the Rings Gollum, for example. But
let's play that.
Yeah,
Lord of Ring,
Lord of Ring Gollum. It just makes me laugh that it just seems like the studios are like Warner Brothers, whoever's involved's got like a raging hard on for Gollum at the moment, because it's like, right, of all the things that we could do a video game on set in Middle Earth, we're going to do a Gollum game, and then it's like, right, we're going to bring back the Lord of the Rings movies. What are we going to do them on? The Hunt for Gollum. I'm like, wow, okay. I'm seeing a pattern here between the two. Yeah. But yeah, I'd look if we can get some gaming stuff going. That would be fun. I'm not a very good gamer though, but maybe that would be the entertainment of it. So, we're both. Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm awful.
Let's see. Kahina's talking about Star Wars. Well, I hated the sequels too. Phantom Menace was a total and utter shit show. I mostly agree. There's some redeeming things. Actually, we've got Star Wars reviews up on the channel, me and Dale. So check those out. We've done all of the prequels, and we've done A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Tuesday next week, we've got Return of the Jedi, and that's it. We ain't going to go and watch any more. So don't expect an episode 7, 8, or 9 review, because it ain't happening. You've got my opinions on this stream right here. It's a shit show. Kahina says, like, the Celebrimbor and Anatar stuff worked for me. I lost my father that night, so I'm a bit out of myself. Oh, God, sorry. That's horrible. I hope you're, well, I can say I hope you're okay. I mean, when that happens, it just rocks your world, doesn't it? But, yeah, just take it a day at a time. But, no, I mean, if it landed with you, then, you know, that's absolutely fine. If you enjoyed some stuff from the show, if it was a nice bit of escapism, that always works. We unfortunately didn't take so kindly to the show, but yeah, if there's any bits, if there are any positives, we'll always mention them. But just for us, as anyone who's watched these week to week, you can understand we didn't find many. We tried to come up with one every episode, though, and I think for that we had a success with that. Yeah, Brinsley says Lord of the Rings Conquest was fun. Oh, there's one that I never played actually, and it's meant to be really good. Did you ever play War in the North, or something?
Yes, I did, and I got stuck on that. That was a tough one. That was I remember you faced a berserker on one of the levels, and I couldn't do it. It was a really fun game, actually. I would play that again. I'd love that.
Yeah, I remember it's the very typical thing. You can play like a man, a dwarf, and an elf kind of thing, the setup. But I remember you got like the Eagles in there, and they talk English like they do in the books. I think Radagast was in there as well, and he actually kind of looked like a level-headed adaptation of what Radagast the Brown should be, rather than the one that we got in the Hobbit movies with bird shit on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, JX Editor says War in the North is a very good expansion of the narrative. Yeah, I never played that. I think it was it like PS3 and Xbox?
Yeah, I had it on 360.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other Lord of the Rings games. That one just popped into my head. Lego Lord of the Rings was fucking outstanding. Loved that one.
Yes. There's a new one, isn't there, at the moment called The Tales of the Shire? I think that's coming out. I think let's have a look. I don't know what type of game that is, but
Tales of the Shire.
And there's a Moria one, wasn't there?
Yeah, they got John Rhys Davis to come back, didn't they? And he voiced something. Tales. My keyboard is not working. This is not helping. Okay, so some of my keys aren't working. My A key isn't working. My S key isn't working. My F key isn't working. And my S key isn't working. Great. I can't type
Brilliant.
In Tales of the Shire. I tried. I'm going to have to try and get that fixed. God, nothing's working, but...
You know what I'd love to do as well? I'd love to do like a D&D campaign. Like do a Lord of the Rings one.
Oh, that'd be cool. I've never actually done D&D.
Same. Like I'd want someone to do the DMing like
JX.
Well, I'm awful.
Part of a D&D group. Maybe you could do it. Maybe you could be the dungeon master. Get you involved in it. We are total newbies to D&D, so you're gonna have to explain the rules to us. I know there's a 20-sided die, right? That's the thing. You roll initiative or something.
I think so, but I'd love to do it, man. That would be cool.
JX, you could dungeon master a Lord of the Rings themed one. That'd be cool. Let's see. Oh, you probably aren't gonna like Tales of the Shire. It's like a farming game. I used to play Harvest Moon back in the day. That was a farming game. That can be quite therapeutic, I guess, if it's pretty chill. I don't know. We'll come up with some ideas anyway. Right, I'm just conscious of time. I've got to be up. I start work in 9 hours, so I need to try and go get some sleep now. We're coming up to 3 hours anyway. Almost the runtime of a feature-length Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie. There you go. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that sat through the entire 3-hour stream tonight. This has been great, and keeping the comments coming in. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everyone. This is great, though, that we've got so many comments coming in, but it is kind of like the knock-on effect now where I can't get to all of them. But I tried to bring up as many as I could. This series, the series itself, The Rings of Power Season 2, has been an unmitigated disaster, but I have very much enjoyed jumping on these streams every week with yourself, man. Thank you for helping me out with them, and it's just good to talk about this stuff with someone who's also, a passionate fan of Tolkien's work, because Lord knows it, someone has to be, because the showrunners certainly aren't. But we've got a lot of stuff planned, and we'll have a chat at some other point about the other stuff that we can do. But we're not totally done with the Rings of Power. We may have done episode 8, but next week we will be back, and we're going to kind of condense our thoughts. We're still pretty much hot on the heels of episode 8 right now. We're going to leave it a week. We're going to let it simmer. We're going to formulate opinions on the series as a whole, which plot cul-de-sacs led to nowhere, which things did we like, if anything. And it's probably going to be a lot of speculation as what we expect in season 3. So yeah, if you want more Rings of Power streams, we will be back next week, and then I'm sure we'll have some of the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien themed content planned after that. In the meantime, man, if you want to let people know where they can find you and what you've got coming up on your channel.
Yeah, so I will be doing my review, filming it tomorrow. So should probably be out on Sunday. That should be fun. And then ourselves, I think I'm going to have you over on the channel as well. We're going to be doing a tier list of the best moments and characters of season 2 and the worst. So that should be fun. And I think I mentioned to it before as well, I think we're going to team up to do some history videos as well, but a different style of history videos, more of a debate and discussion. So yeah, and I think I'll be looking into doing gameplay as well, just going along. I want to try and, expand and really get myself out there this year and the upcoming years. And we got the War of the Rohirrim, the Hunt for Gollum, so we've got plenty more Lord of the Ring content. So yeah, and I just wanted to say, actually, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you so much to everyone in the chat, man. It's been amazing, every week seeing the same faces and the new faces coming in. It's been brilliant. So thank you, everyone. Honestly, it's been amazing, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, yeah, for season 2 discussion. Looking forward to it. You're welcome anytime, man. You're basically you're part of the channel now, man. Come on, you're welcome here anytime. But yeah, if you like what you saw here, obviously head over to Everything Middle Earth's channel. His reviews are a lot shorter than these ones and more condensed, but my God, there are still some things that we haven't talked about. There's loads of stuff that we haven't talked about, and the jokes in them are always fantastic. The visuals, the editing, everything, he really puts a lot of work into them, whereas I'm just lazy and just hit live and just talk to a camera. He does all the heavy lifting. So yeah, head on over there. And if you like this channel and you want to see more live streams, not just from us, I do some other stuff throughout the week too. Please do consider subscribing for more movie reviews, discussions, and live streams. I'll be live again tomorrow, if you haven't got bored of me already, for a review for Joker, whatever it's called, Joker 2. I've heard, well, to be honest, I haven't heard a single positive review from everyone. It's not usually, there's certain reviewers that I watch mostly on YouTube who I tend to side with more, but this is from everyone. This is from across the board. I haven't seen a single positive review, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be with Dale on that one, and we're going to be chatting all things Batman and Joker and how we think it holds up. And then we'll be live again on Monday for the new Disney review, which will be Meet the Robinsons. And then we'll be live again on Tuesday for Return of the Jedi review. And then we'll be going live at the end of next week for more Rings of Power. So yeah, busy stuff. Lots of stuff coming to the channel. And if you haven't done so already, or you're discovering this video after the fact, let us know your thoughts on the Rings of Power. Let's keep it to this episode, and let's save the big discussion for next week, because that's going to be a real fun one. But yeah, just a final thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. You guys are awesome. This is why we love doing this. And yeah, have a good night, everyone, and we'll catch you next week. Take care, everyone.